Welcome back, scrotes and scrotettes. Not a lot of you, though, but welcome back to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail on this Monday, January 19th, 2026, the year of our Lord. What a year it's been, huh? We've got an excellent show for you tonight. A few things I want to make a note of before we get started. So I had said probably early last year at some point where I was like, I'm going to make more of an effort to not screen calls per se. I was doing this more under Mark and then having kind of fell off on this. But when you call in, please let our producer Gerard know what you would like to speak about. He is going to rank you based on importance, and I will get get to people in terms of who's most interesting, not who calls first. So we're going to try that out. I think it's better. Also, I think I'm only going to be doing 2 hours for these shows, especially when I don't have a guest. Only going to be doing 2 hours. I'll do an additional. I set one of those super chat goal things up. If you guys want to hit the super chats and hit the goal, I'll do an extra 45 minutes. Otherwise, we're just going to do 2 hours, and we're going to make this thing a little more exclusive. You know, not necessarily talk to every person who's just like calls in and goes, "What are you guys talking about?" And I go, "You called me." So, anyways, we're going to do that. If you'd like to support the show, as always, you can do so. Super chat, liking the stream, sharing with a friend, leave a comment, follow on Spotify, or of course, patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL, or you can become a channel member here on YouTube. There's a button somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Okay, let's get down to it. I don't know how my voice is already raspy. I've been speaking for 10 seconds. All right, few things we're going to discuss. Not Iran. That's not one of them. Look at that, how effective it is for Iran. You just shut the internet off and they go, nothing really left to talk about. Something to be said there. Obviously, you know, some people will be like, oh, well, it's a violation of human rights. Yeah, but if you want the world not meddling in your business, if you want everybody not having a fucking opinion about your shit, just shut the internet off and you go, nothing really to talk about. It's all just conjecture at this point. But Greenland is the thing that we will be talking about because those fucking losers didn't shut their internet off. Greenland, you might want to shut your internet off. That wouldn't be the worst idea. I am an ideas man. I don't know what's going on in my throat right now. But wouldn't be the worst idea for Greenland to just shut the whole thing off. So benevolent leader Donald Trump doesn't appear to be taking no for an answer on the topic of acquiring Greenland. I really don't know what's going on with my throat here. Is it the Diet Dr. P? I don't know. But he's not taking no for an answer on the topic of acquiring Greenland. Here is a letter which many people were questioning whether this was real or not because it's crazy. But this is a letter he sent yesterday to the Prime Minister of Norway. He says, "Dear Jonas," who I believe is the Prime Minister of Norway, "considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. Denmark cannot protect that land from Russia or China, and why do they have a right of ownership anyway? There are no written documents. It's only that a boat landed there hundreds of years ago, but we had boats landing there also. I have done more for NATO than any other person since its founding, and now NATO should do something for the United States. The world is not secure unless we have complete and total control of Greenland. Thank you, President DJT." So the guy's not taking no for an answer. You know, this guy is one of those pushy, like real pushy kind of immigrants at a bar. And you go, "Hey man, this is we don't do things like that here." And he goes, "No, I'm wearing $100 worth of cologne right now. I have my best gold chains on. I have my best dress shirt, and I don't take no for an answer, and he's not. Now, last week, I said that Trump seemed to want Greenland just because of the strategic benefit. It makes sense. You look at a map, you go, that makes sense. Right? Also, he says if the U.S. doesn't get Russia, Russia or China will. Now, I don't know if I've never heard Russia or China having designs on Greenland. You know, they talk about there's all these submarines kind of all over the place. And it's certainly possible that the U.S. has information that these places do, and they just don't care to share it with us, nor I don't know if they're obligated to. I don't know if something this important, they go, maybe just let us know if what's going on, get people kind of on board, manufacture some consent, if you will. He's not doing none of that, though. And, you know, also, I said last week, possible that he just wants to take Greenland or at least threaten to take Greenland to dissolve NATO and no longer requires the U.S. to pay this huge disproportional amount. Now, obviously a Russian or Chinese invasion of Greenland, assuming that that's what's going on, say he's like, look, it's up for grabs. We just want it first because someone's going to get it. But obviously because of the NATO thing, if one of them did invade Greenland, it would trigger Article 5 of NATO that says an attack on one country is an attack on all countries. So essentially, you know, that would be enough of a deterrent, you would think, for Russia or China, in that, you know, we have to fight all these countries now if we go after this. They're not just going to let us take it. So really, as long as NATO exists and the U.S. is a member of NATO, Greenland, you would think, would be safe, actually, from Russia and China, right? That's how I understand that. I'm no expert on literally anything. Now, I will say it was notable, Trump referencing the Nobel Peace Prize snub in his little letter to the Norwegian Prime Minister, making me think a big part of this might just be his ego and his legacy. And we know he's a big legacy guy. We know that for a fact. Now, the U.S. hasn't expanded its empire since 1917. The last time it did, 1917, they purchased the Virgin Islands from Denmark. I actually didn't realize, by the way, maybe this is I'm Canadian, maybe the Americans don't know this, how little the U.S. has paid for much of their territory. So this is in today's 2026 dollars. I saw someone posted this infographic somewhere on Twitter. In today's dollars, they paid $698 million for the Virgin Islands, which is a steal. $156 million for Alaska. $386 million for the Gadsden purchase. $615 million for the Mexican secession, which, I mean, there was probably some threats involved in that as well. I don't think that was a straight purchase, but they got a lot of land on that one. $127 million for Florida. What a fucking bargain. There's probably a home somewhere in Florida worth $127 million right now. And you get the whole state for that? And then $430 million for the Louisiana purchase. All incredible deals. Incredible. And some people are being like, it's going to cost Greenland to get Greenland $700 billion, which is hard to stomach when you're like, yeah, but we got Florida for $127 million and we're paying $700 billion for Greenland. But at the end of the day, you know, Trump is a real estate developer. And I'm sure he knows this, where, you know, buying, when you're wanting to buy territory or land, it only really works if both parties are interested. Now, the difference is in his past life as a private citizen, whenever he were to attempt to buy some land, he didn't have the full force of the United States military kind of backing him up in case someone was like, yeah, I don't really feel like selling you this plot of land on the Upper East Side. I don't want to do that. I'm not selling. Now he can literally point bombs at them, missiles, nukes even. He's also now threatening tariffs on 8 European countries, saying that world peace is at stake. Now, even though it feels like, at least to me, sure, anybody, this is his threat to annex Greenland. puts world peace more at risk than if he wasn't talking about it. I mean, it seems this is making world peace less likely the more he goes on about Greenland. That's just my feeling. Maybe someone is like, no, this makes the world a more peaceful place. But the more he threatens to annex places, I go, this is disturbing things more. That's at least how it feels. And look, should he get Greenland, which seems unlikely, I think Polymarket has it at 20% chance. And again, he has to get it in his next 3 years. You know, I guess if J.D. Vance gets elected in 2028, then he can kind of keep this shit going. But assuming a Democrat gets into power, all this stuff, they just cancel all this shit, right? But again, should he get Greenland, just looking at a world map, that can't be good, and I said this last week, that cannot be good for Canada, which will now basically be surrounded by the United States everywhere, essentially, other than the North. And now my question for the Trump voters, and once I open the phone lines, you can let me know, is how are you feeling about this? Is this what you voted for? Is this what you voted for? Now, I'm going to discuss Canada, the country of my birth. Because they were pulling some moves this past few days. I don't know how many of you are following this, because this is all interconnected, right? All of this stuff that's going on, these are not happening in vacuums. These are definitely all connected to one another. So the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, announced on Friday a new strategic partnership with China. China famously has been interfering. And I don't know if you guys know this, I've discussed this before, but China has been interfering in Canadian elections since 2019, 2021. It's pretty well known, like the Canadian government has admitted this, that China was interfering in our elections. They had secret Chinese police stations in the country. They were doing all sorts of stuff. They were threatening members of parliament, I believe, like their family and stuff that were back in China. So this is not a country you want to align yourself with in a perfect world. But now Canada has limited options, especially with the way the United States is negotiating on trade, plus all the 51st state talk, right? They're somewhat painted into a corner here. Part of me thinks, because this is not ideal, like when you see this, that Canada is making these trade relationships with China, I understand that Canada is like, well, what option do we have? But again, not great that they even are doing this or considering it. Part of me thinks Trump is actually quite pleased with this development. He even said, he goes, yeah, Canada's got to do what's best for Canada, which was odd. You think he would be a little more angry about it, unless he has some other plans. But essentially the deal allows 49,000 Chinese cars to be sold in Canada, essentially tariff-free, in exchange for China removing tariffs on rapeseed, and some seafood products. If you don't know what rapeseed is, look it up. It's a seed that rapes you. To think 3 years ago, I would have been like, grapeseed. I would have never done that. Now, Chinese cars are literally illegal in the United States and can't even be registered here if you pay the 100% plus tariff. You can go on YouTube. There's a lot of like car review, tech review guys, that Marquise Brownlee guy or whatever he does. You see some of the reviews. These cars look pretty badass. They're all electric, obviously. They look pretty slick. They give them all good reviews. Are they being paid by the Chinese government? I don't know. They look pretty cool cars, though. I wouldn't be opposed to owning one, I suppose, minus the whole they spy on you. But if you're a Canadian thinking of buying one of these, if you're like, oh yeah, this is great, because apparently, up in Canada, they hate Elon Musk because of all the Trump stuff. So apparently Teslas aren't doing great in Canada right now. So, there will be some contingent of Canadians who hate America, who I'm buying a Chinese car. Fuck you, America. You will not even be allowed to drive them into the United States if you're thinking of crossing the border. But then also those people are like, I'm not going to America, so who gives a shit? And And the main thing with Chinese cars, the reason why they're banned here and Canada up until 3 days ago, is they're heavily subsidized by the Chinese government, which is, a reason they aren't allowed in either of these countries. Because essentially, if you just let them flood the market with these subsidized cars that are much cheaper than American cars, they will destroy domestic auto manufacturers. And I know that Trump has said that he would welcome Chinese companies coming to America to manufacture their cars here. But the ones that are made in China that are basically subsidized by the government, no bueno, not happening. But again, the great cars, as long as you don't mind being spied on by the CCP every time you drive the car, and maybe even when you're not driving the car. But anyways, back to the Trump part of being pleased with this development, because you would think he would not be pleased. But if I was trying to take over a neighboring country, I would want them to do as many things as possible to view them as a threat, right? For the eventuality of, hey, sorry, but we're going to have to invade your ass. And giving a China a foot in the door, a country that is hostile to the United States and Canada, good start, you would think. And then factor in the whole Alberta secession thing. The U.S. State Department has been meeting with the organizers of the Alberta independence movement. And I'm sure the U.S. will do anything they can to help that pass at this point. Like, the fact is they're having multiple meetings. They had initial meetings just to discuss what this would look like. And, they're consistently having meetings, essentially kind of ramping things up about if Alberta becomes an independent nation, how do we absorb this into the United States, essentially. They had excuse me. I think I have AIDS. They had an event in Edmonton on the weekend. I spoke about the event in Calgary last weekend. They had an event in Edmonton. Again, these are the two largest cities in Alberta, liberal strongholds, huge lineups to sign this petition for a referendum. Huge, several hour wait. And on top of this, Steve Bannon, who essentially, I don't know his exact connection to the Trump White House right now, but he definitely has an ear of Trump, advises him on certain things. I mean, if Tucker Carlson's giving him advice on credit card interest, which I believe that's supposed to go into effect tomorrow, the 10% cap, it sounds like, I can't remember who I saw speak to this, someone in his Treasury department, not Scott Bessent, essentially being like, yeah, Trump just says a lot of out of the box stuff, but we looked into the feasibility of capping credit cards at 10%, and it's a really, really bad idea. Excuse me. I really don't know what's going on with my voice right now. I think I'm gay. Hold on a second. Maybe it's the sweet DP nectar. But, he said it's not going to work out. It sounds like he's like, yeah, he didn't really think it through. And so that doesn't sound like that's happening, even though that was supposed to be tomorrow. Also, happy Martin Luther King Day to the two of you who celebrate. But anyways, Steve Bannon is essentially warning that Canada could be the next Ukraine and is in the vital national security interests of the United States. Now, if you wanted to position Canada as Ukraine and America, I guess Russia in this case, not a good look. Big yikes, if you will. And again, most Canadians live within, 100 miles of the U.S. border? 90% of the whole country lives within 100 miles of the U.S. border. Now China's infiltrating the country, even if it's through trade. Now this is a problem for America, and America could see Canada as Ukraine and the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. So, and on top of that, Bannon goes on to say that, Canadians in government are now hostile to the U.S. Geez, I wonder why that is. And again, maybe this is all by design. I don't know. I don't know how much credit you can give them if they literally saw this 20 steps ahead like this, where they go, yeah, Trump's a year and a half ago. He's like, yeah, I'm going to threaten to annex Canada. That'll get them cozy with the Chinese. And then we have a good reason to take over Canada. Very hard to say. Hope it doesn't happen. But it is easy for me to see how you factor all of these things together. And the next 3 years could really decide the fate of Canada and the world for that matter for centuries. It'll really give us a picture of how the world will look. And I do hate the fact that Trump really only has 3 years. So they're going to be a chaotic 3 years. All right. We're going to talk about Minneapolis and Don Lemon. And then we're going to open up the phone lines. Actually, you know what? I'll open up the phone lines now. Phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. A lot going on in the world as per usual. Unfortunately, if you guys didn't see this, yesterday in Minneapolis, former CNN anchor and dumbest man on television, and now YouTuber Don Lemon burst into a church service alongside a bunch of protesters to confront the pastor of the church, who also in his day job happens to be an acting field director for ICE in St. Paul. He says he was just acting as a journalist, that's Lemon, and therefore did not commit any type of crime. Now, several self-proclaimed independent journalists, which is really what he is, you know, in his mind he's not, but he is an independent journalist. If you remember, several self-proclaimed independent journalists were charged for the January 6th riots. Many of them, and they were like, no, we're independent journalists. And like, no, you're a fucking YouTuber, actually. Jail time now. The DOJ is now pursuing charges against Lemon and the protesters under the Klan Act, aka the Ku Klux Klan Act. Now, Lemon probably would have been fine had he waited outside the church for the congregants to, you know, exit the church. You're on public property at that point. You're on the sidewalk, and then you can confront them. But bursting in during a service, likely some kind of crime. I would think so. And again, similar to the J6 journalist, he's just a fucking YouTuber. I know in his mind, he should be afforded the status of someone at CNN, but they fired him. He's literally a YouTuber who does street interviews. You're the lowest of the low of regular scum like us, okay? I would never. Imagine I burst into a fucking church or a synagogue or a mosque, and I'll go, no. I'm a journalist. And then they watch this and they go, what the fuck are you talking about? So, and you look, and I know it's obvious, but if Don Lemon goes to jail under the Klan Act, then maybe one of the funniest things that's ever happened in the history of this country. I don't know if mentally I can recover from something like that, but God damn it, that'll be funny. If he goes, the gay black guy goes to jail under the Klan Act. God damn. One can only wish. All right. That's all for me. We're going to get to some calls. We have one super chat. Brian Neck says, Danny, thank you for finding time to do this show. I appreciate you taking a break from your fourth rewatch of Heated Rivalry to entertain us. I think you're referencing my sketch. I made a at least I think so, pretty funny sketch about a Canadian who watched Heated Rivalry and wasn't a big fan of all the gay shit. You can check it out on my other channel. Still haven't watched. I love some hockey, but the gay stuff, oof. But thank you for the super chat. Before I take some calls, like and subscribe to the channel. Again, if you're an audio listener, follow the podcast over on Spotify, leave a review. And if you want to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/lowvaluemail, or you can become a YouTube channel member. And for, I got a bunch of stand updates coming up, a bunch, and there'll be more coming. Sign up for my mailing list or buy tickets, DannyComedy.com. A bunch of places. I'm going to be all over the country. And we got a new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night at 9 p.m. live from the Stand Comedy Club Green Room. Poison 1553 says, if Lemon goes to jail under the Klan Act, does he join the blacks or the neos in jail? He goes with the chomos for sure. 100% he has to join the chomos. Those are the sex offenders because the blacks won't take them. I guess technically from all the jail stuff I've seen, he would have to go with the blacks. I think the blacks would still take gays. I don't think that precludes you, but I think for whatever reason, he's so high profile that he would be with the chomos in protective custody. That would be my guess. All right. Let's take some calls. Only got a couple of you here. Phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. Let's go to the first call of the night. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Can you hear me, Dan?
Yeah. Who am I speaking with?
Great. My name is Mike. I'm in Washington State.
Mike in Washington
State.
The reason
I'm calling is...
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. I wanted to call because, we wrapped up 2025 with a couple of, there were a couple of high-profile schizophrenia cases that happened in 2025 with the, that arena.
The Charlottes.
And then, right. So all that fun stuff. And, when those kinds of things happen, it's, people usually, are always saying like, well, what could we have done? Or they try to speculate, was the family even taking care of them? Or were they even doing anything? What are they supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually worked at an adult family home for schizophrenics.
Really?
And it was mostly for, it was mostly for people with higher income. So basically I can describe to you what it looks like when your family has good money and they're trying to get you treatment.
Okay. What does that look like? Well, first question, what does something like this chart cost a month if you have like a, very schizophrenic family member? How much does it cost monthly?
Whether the state or you're paying all at your own, it's $4,000 a month.
Okay.
If you're doing a Medicaid based or the state run, because this is through the Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh, okay. So $4,000 a month. And that covers all their meds, everything?
It does not cover their meds. Their insurance needs to cover their meds. The $4,000 gets you food and a room.
And just kind of someone like some nurses kind of monitoring you?
No nurses. Some jerk like me being the only line of defense against everything. And
so what if five people plot an escape?
You don't have to plot an escape. Everyone can come and go as they please.
Oh, that's not great.
No one is restricted to leave. That's not even touching that's the first thing that's not great.
Okay.
Everything is not great. So I took a couple notes so I don't ramble or
go ahead.
The trailer stuff. So I mentioned adult family homes. You mentioned medication. The pharmacies that serve the adult family homes are not the normal pharmacies that you or I would go to if you got a prescription. These pharmacies exclusively deal with adult family homes. And what that does is that, the customer, the end customer, the person taking the drug, they don't know what's going on. So they can't complain if something goes wrong or whatever. In the several months that I was doing this, the pharmacies would deliver medications late, at least several times. Or just miss medications. And so these guys would miss days of medications.
That's crazy.
And these guys are all on antipsychotics.
Yeah.
This is par for the course, regular. There's a drug called Cobenfy, Cobenfy. It's apparently, they were holding off on delivering it for one of the residents. And I had to call him and say, hey, what's going on with this? It's clearly on there because everyone has a medication log. So my job, I'm the everything person. I'm the caregiver. I cook, clean, feed them, take care of them. If they get cuts and scrapes, I patch them up.
And how many? So there's for how many people?
5.
One. Okay, so that's not crazy.
And I live there.
And you live there. Okay.
And I live there.
You live there.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
You live there full time?
Yeah, it's my home. It was my home. Yeah. I had to move out. I mean, the guys tried to get in my room a couple times while I was in there.
That's scary.
It's like having the worst roommates in the world. Scary, easily. There's no these adult family homes are in any nice neighborhood. There's no obligation to mark them. So you can go down any street. You don't know how many you don't know how many schizo houses are on your block. And
That's
this is
wild.
this is in Bellevue, Washington. This is Bellevue, Washington. This is like upper middle class. These are all like Microsoft employees. And then, so your reward for, climbing up the ranks and getting a cool job at Microsoft is you could, live in a house next to 5 schizophrenics and me.
Interesting.
And no one has to tell you anything.
No,
They yell at girls. Like some of the guys would say inappropriate things to girls walking home from school.
What?
And then like people call the cops, and then the cops come, and I have to say, this is an adult family home. These people are mentally ill. I'm the caregiver. And then the cops are like, immediately like, okay, we understand.
That's it. And they just leave.
So like, there's this whole thing. Yeah. There's this understanding of like, unless they do something really egregious. So there's that element. I mentioned the bad pharmacies. There used to be state-run inspections of all these houses multiple times a year, but COVID stopped all inspections across the state.
And they never started up again?
They started up again, and in the several months I was working for, we never got inspected.
What? And what are they looking for in these inspections, generally?
The quality of the house. There's basically a whole set of like state laws and rules that we have to abide to. Like everything is just the law. There's no like, if it's not the law, then we ignore it, basically.
Okay.
So it's they just want to come in, make sure that we're compliant with all the little, and it's funny because, you can have people, missing their meds and all the kinds of things and have a medication log that's incomplete. Or, there's drugs that are called PRN, which means like you take it as needed. So there's not like a set time you're supposed to take it. They just come and ask me, hey, can I take that? But these are controlled substances. And I'm in charge of the medication cabinet. Our inventory can be way off, and DSHS doesn't really care about that. What the kind of stuff they care about is like, there's supposed to be a piece of paper on the wall that says, hey, this is who you call if, I forgot. Like this is who to complain to for the state. And it's like, hey, is that paper up? Yes. Great.
Right.
Is it laminated? Yeah. I mean, that's what state regulation looks like, just make sure stuff's laminated,
And so what does this look like when you can't afford it?
I'm explaining this. This is exactly what it is. This is affording it. Cause then the alternative is you just go on the street.
Right. Right.
So
there's no
best case scenario. This is best case scenario for complicated schizophrenia cases.
So basically, if your family can't afford $4,000 a month, they're just like, you're on the street. There's no like Medicaid, something for poor people.
Medicaid covers a portion of it. So then there's, if you're through the state and federal Medicaid, then they cover a portion, and then just like a co-payment, you have to cover the opposite. So yeah, there was a couple residents that every month they would, their mom would drop it off, or they would, hand me a check for like $1,700, and then that's what the family has to pay every month, and then the state covers the rest. And then
interesting. Rich, so basically, if you're like a single guy or woman and you don't have any family, then you just basically end up homeless until you probably
go on the street and die.
Yeah, or until you commit some crime
until you commit a crime. Yeah, and actually committing the crime is like, would provide you with more stability and more support and more eyes on you.
Right. So there's like an actual, if you can somehow gain incentive. Like if you can somehow snap out of it for a minute, you're like, I should go commit a crime. It's in my best interest.
Correct.
That's fucked up.
So that's one thing. So once again, residents can come and go as they please. I can't punish them or deny them of anything. So there's no such thing as like, go to your room, or you can't, or, I can't take something out of their hands. Like I can stop them from drinking alcohol. I am allowed to stop them from drinking alcohol because there's a law for that.
Okay.
And, but there's no law for smoking weed or smoking cigarettes. So they let
schizophrenics, they let schizophrenics smoke weed.
There's no direct rule against it. So I personally can't stop them from doing that. If someone else is responsible for stopping them, then that's their job. But it's not in my scope to stop weed.
Okay. That seems unwise.
Washington is legal.
Right.
No, it's very unwise. And so is missing multiple days in a row of your medications when it's not even your fault, So yeah, all of this stuff is really
And crazy. So what, do you just like cook them food and stuff? Like do you make them food or?
Yes.
Yeah, you just make them
3 meals a day.
You just make them food and just kind of make
I'm their buddy. I'm their buddy.
Yeah.
I we make beats on Fruity Loops. We play Halo.
Okay, so that sounds all right. Sounds all right for you. It seems like your responsibility is pretty minimal. You're like, yeah, if they wander off in the middle.
No, it's not minimal. It's a.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of like if they wander off in the middle of the night, you're like, I don't know, they're allowed to.
Well, no, I'm supposed to make like, I have to report it, and I have to stay up until they come home. So now it like kind of ruins my day.
Oh, that sucks.
So it's like, it'd be awesome if it's just roommates and they can come and go and be degenerates as they want. It's like, great, who cares? But no, I am their like secondary parent, or it's because at any time someone can call and say, where is that guy? And actually I have to have an okay answer for that question.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to be that good. But it has to, and if they're like, well, he left. Well, where is he? I don't know. Well, I mean, what are you doing next then? Like, it can't be like, just, all right, chill out.
Yeah, you're like, he said he'll be back. I don't know.
Let's start the search part, And sometimes they do disappear for days. You know?
Okay.
There's, I mentioned, there's no real like leverage no leverage that you can hold against them. So you can't be like, stop screaming or stop, like they're not, because that's the other fun thing is that schizophrenic, it's like, it's just, maybe it's just a condition where people do it. It's like, no. In general, schizophrenia just means your brain is turning to mush. And for that same reason, a lot of people who are severely mentally retarded are also schizophrenic.
Okay.
So there's a comorbidity of like extreme, like, I mean, these people can't do, I'm not saying this jokingly, but yeah, these people can't do anything.
Do you have to bathe them?
That's the one thing that so some houses do. So there's a thing called ADLs, activities of daily life. And this is another element. This is another sticking point. So activities of daily life, that includes bathing, eating. So I give them food, but I don't put the food in their mouth.
Okay.
So to qualify to stay at the house that I was at, you're supposed to be able to handle your own ADLs. You're supposed to be able to wash yourself, go to the bathroom, and put food in your mouth.
So there's like a spectrum of schizophrenia, essentially.
I don't even know if you would say it's a spectrum of schizophrenia. It's like just a broader spectrum of like, because the state just views it as, can you do your ADLs? We don't care what the condition is because this is how we're billing it.
Right.
So it comes back to billing and what kind of staff to have around. So you can have minimal staff in this kind of situation. However, getting into one of these houses is hard. There's only so many houses. You have to do this.
Even if you have the money, if you're like, I have $4,000 a month, it's still hard.
Yes. Because it's supply and demand.
Right.
So then, it's a low supply.
And is it a private business? Like, does someone own this? Who owns this home?
The shady guy that was my boss owns multiple houses and runs these. It's not as far as calling it like, because that was the other thing that's relevant to 2025 is like the Minnesota scams. These aren't outright scams. They are technically doing the law thing. They're legal things and satisfying the legal requirements. However, this is some of the most bad faith fucking action I've ever seen. Yeah. I'm sorry for cussing, but this is
you can swear away.
This is the lowest level of execution I've seen across like different industries. It's like these people care less than everybody.
They're just doing basically the bare minimum to, make some money essentially.
So here's the game here in Washington. And this is, maybe you can paint a connection to the Somali thing. The word out, the memo has gone out in Washington in the Romanian community. And the Romanians are like, yo, if you show up, we'll help you get situated into your first adult family home. Your whole Romanian family will live in the basement of the home while 5 schizophrenics live upstairs. Over several years, you'll be homeowners. You guys can slowly start saving money. Like, this is a money growing and saving.
So this is a bit of a scheme. So there's a family that lives in the basement of this home?
Not in that one. No, my boss grew up my boss was the family living in the basement of the home, and then he grew up, and now he owns 5 homes.
What?
And then I'm one of the employees. And
now what would be, I guess, just to get the other side of this, what would be the alternative to this? Because obviously there needs to be, probably there, if it's just, although even $4,000 a month and it's 5 people living in one home, that's $20,000 a month. I guess if someone was like, well, if this is just for me to pay off my mortgage, I guess you're just a standard landlord. I guess maybe if these people are going to destroy your home, but they're getting more than that. So,
and then they can decide, like a landlord has more scrutiny than a person running one of these homes. So
really,
you can make cost adjustments in ways that, like, you know, under the hood. Like, I'm not going to, you know, roll out a whole, you know, textbook of how to do things, but there's,
but like if you need a new roof, for example, you could be like, instead of 50 grand on a new roof, you go, I'm just going to like fucking put some putty in it and just.
Or you can say, actually, cornflakes and almond milk is enough, you know, breakfast. That's all they need for breakfast. They never need to eat eggs. They never need to eat potatoes.
Cornflakes is crazy
for the rest of their life.
And like, this must be going on in every city in the country.
Lunch.
Hey, let's not.
There's no reason.
Hot dogs are a perfect food, okay?
I mean,
they are a literal superfood.
So that's one of the benefits for these guys. But otherwise, everything's downhill.
I mean, that sounds awesome. But yeah. That I mean, that's crazy. So basically, all the hot dogs. So they're just the guys who run it are just like these shady Romanian dudes who are just cutting corners. I assume this is happening in every city in the United States.
Correct. And this is the answer for what do you do when there's a schizophrenic and they're screaming for help and they need help and the family has run out, is exhausted, and they don't know what to do next, and they have money.
Which it used to be you just institutionalize them, but they shut down all the. And
it's not just a question of shutting down institutions. It's a philosophical thing that we all feel uncomfortable with. Is what justifies involuntary institutionalization?
Mm-hmm.
And we've effectively, like, the bar is extremely high. Like, you have to have already done something very bad to be involuntarily institutionalized, or you have to be a complete, like, and if you don't do something really bad and you just have like a meltdown or something, you'll be in for 30 days and then you'll be out.
Right.
So what we really need, the tough pill to swallow, and this is from living with them, the tough pill. Oh, and the other thing that I'll throw in real quick is that there's a lot of mixed messaging from the state. The state's like, these people need help, they need guidance, blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, yeah, I'm on board with that. But then they also say they need dignity, agency, and independence. And it's like, well,
if they had agency, they probably wouldn't be here in the first place.
But this is what these guys like. And granted, I live in one of the bluest states in the union. You know, Washington's stupid. So these guys are like, no, man, you should. Look, if they want to, you know, we can't limit them. And it's like, what do you mean you can't limit them? It's like, in my opinion, the most like responsible thing to do would be to, reinstitute involuntary institutionalization and understand that there actually isn't like a future for these guys. Like, the prognosis is negative. There's no schizophrenia doesn't get better.
Yeah. Like, do you ever see people kind of get out of there? Like, do you ever see some person leave one of these homes and just go back to living a normal life?
No. Like, I'm not saying that in a general term. This is like, clinically, schizophrenia only gets worse.
Right. But I'm just saying, have you? Yeah. So you've never seen.
There's no such thing as regaining. It only gets worse. Every day that goes by, they get less independent, less capable of making it outside on their own. And
so, in a perfect world, how would you retool the system, knowing what you know?
I put them in a kennel.
Just basically open up the asylums like prior to 1956 or whatever.
I mean, it's like, because here's the thing. It's like, when we dance around the problem and go, no, they can do this, they can do that. It's like, look, I would love for everyone to feel better or get better. It's just a tough pill to swallow. Like, the family doesn't want to say this person's life is cooked.
Yeah.
Nobody
they don't want to give up on
say that. This is going nowhere. But then they do, and then the families do all sorts of real things. These people can bring home friends from outside, and there's no rule that says you can't bring home friends. So it's like they're going making fucking friends on Skid Row and bring them into the house, and I'm like, get out of here, you know. So it's this whole like agency, the agency equals dignity belief is what's keeping, you know, it's all female thinking. This is what keeps, you know, the problem's not going to get solved until people start thinking, you know, rationally again, which is, hey man, there's not a, you know, this is a bad situation, and you know, when we're done crying, let's get through with a real solution.
Yeah, you just want to be realistic about it.
A robust system, a robust institution that's nice and makes things comfortable and a calm environment, it shouldn't be like a prison. I would hope that it's not like a prison, and we call it a day. But we will
do they commit crimes?
Percentage.
Do the people who like? Does this ever happen where like people stay at these homes and they go out and they commit crimes?
One of the guys that was staying with me tried to kill somebody, and that's what got him into the house. But they like
that got him in the house.
What this is like?
You literally fucking live at a place and they go, we're bringing in a murderer or someone who tried to kill somebody?
This is not a murderer. So this is the funny thing is
hilarious.
This is where assessments and the family and let's say a white family, like, you know, I usually don't play identity politics, but let's say a rich, well-to-do white family can pull some strings. So when their kid tries to kill himself by steering his car into opposing traffic.
Yeah.
But there's an other person in the car. They just do everything they can in every assessment to just say he drove into traffic by himself, and he tried to commit suicide. So it's called a suicide attempt instead of trying to kill yourself along with somebody else.
Other people.
So they just sweep that under the rug.
Damn.
So you can see how like these cute little technicalities and different people have different incentives to like either play up or play down certain problems depending on what healthcare provider you're dealing with and what you're trying to get. So the whole like thing is distorted. There's no accurate assessment. Like I get an assessment. Every person that comes in has paperwork and I can read through their paperwork and know their history and everything. These things are like 70% accurate.
Yeah. And is there ever a time when someone comes in and you're like, I'm scared to be under the same roof as this person?
I personally know, but that was one of the questions I was talking to my boss about. And he's like, oh yeah, once they finally get violent, that's the line. And then you could just call 911 and have them removed. But until they get violent, getting one of these people out of here is like almost impossible. So there needs to be at least a violent incident to get them out of there. But, and I mentioned before that, you know, I've woken up in the room that I was living in and I heard my door jiggling because it was locked, but they were trying to get in my door.
Jesus.
And it's like,
Christ.
I don't know if he was trying to kill me. I don't know what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
So
what a nightmare.
You know, who knows?
Crazy.
The nightmare is right. That's why I don't work there anymore. I mean, I was just a lowly caregiver. I I take care of people with physical disabilities for 6 years before this. And I was an engineer for a long time before that. But so caregiver is like an entry-level job. That's like for...
You were an engineer?
Yes.
How'd you wind up as a caregiver?
And software engineer. Oh, because in 2018, it became impossible to get hired to get my next job. Like I have 20 jobs, you know, like it's as a software engineer, I've like moved around and worked in different places and stuff. And so it's not unusual to like find a new job every year or every several months. And then 2018, it just became 1000% impossible for me.
And is this all from H-1Bs?
I won't say H-1B because H-1B was very strong while I was doing it I was working in New York City. So you see guys with Infosys backpacks like on the subway. Like,
yeah.
I worked alongside those guys. I think if you ask me, I would say it's like it became someone's goal to say we should stop hiring white males and
so more of that, more of the DEI stuff
is important. Yeah, it just became like not great for HR to hire yet another white guy.
Right.
And I know I sound like the biggest loser saying that.
Look, at the time, it was one of those things where people were like, you can't say that. And you're like, well, this is what's happening. I mean, I think at this point, people are now, because of where we are culturally, people are like, well, we're like, white men are so angry right now because of exactly this. Like, at least some people have like the, sight vision to just be like, yeah, well, at least we know why. You know, some will still say, well, it still needed to be done, but at least we can look back and be like, yeah, this is, I mean, it was happening everywhere. I don't think there was any industry that, and it was those people and I guarantee you the people who were hiring you were all probably white guys or women. And they go, yeah, in order for us to keep our jobs, we just have to make sure that the people below us don't get,
Yeah. Hey, good for them. Let them have their industry. I already got to mourn that loss like several years ago. So it's kind of done now, so whatever.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, coming in as an entry, let's say I started from scratch. So let's pretend that I had no career before that, and I'm just an immigrant, some lady who came in to become a caregiver, which is the normal demographic for the caregiver job.
Yeah.
That person with minimal training, to end up running an adult family home the way I was, how do you go from entry-level caregiver to running an adult family home responsible for 5 people? Easy. They take your caregiver license and they say, we'll hire you today and we'll push you through a certification process for mental health and a few other trainings. And they'll all be open book tests and you'll be certified tomorrow. And now you can be in charge.
So they even did the DEI shit in the caregiving space?
It's not DEI. It's incredibly low standards.
Oh, it's cool. Well, it's
just dog shit standard. It's like, hey man, you on the street, you want to run an adult family home? I don't know. I mean, you can just take this test, open book, and after you pass it, you can just
run. Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
So I just wanted to fill you in. We see it a lot, and I think I had no idea it was this bad before 2020. Before I worked this job, and that was last year as well. And that's. So now when we see the stuff on TV and we're like, man, what can they have done? What can they have done? It's like, this is cooked, dude.
Right.
You just got to watch out for people that act weird, man. And
reopen the asylums.
It's not really.
Yeah, we got to reopen the asylums. All right, man. Thanks for calling in, man. That was a great call. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Have a good one.
Take care. Great call. Great call right there. That was Michael. Sad, honestly, to hear that. I mean, again, we all knew it was happening. Shit like that. Where he was literally trained as an engineer, as a software engineer, and they just go, yeah, we're not hiring white guys. I guess find something else to do. Drew Huntley says, Danny, could you bring Dylan on as a black man? I think it would be a good interview into how them people be thinking. Iron Man Metal Bill says, Don Lamont is a pickle smuggler. Love from Philly. Aggressive Yeti, thank you for the giving out some memberships. All right, let's get to some more calls. We're going to go up to Canada. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
It's Mark and T.O.
Mark from the Dot. What's up, man?
I guess you're talking about how this is New Year's off to a lot of things happening, a lot of status quo becoming very un-status quo, and something that's getting almost no media coverage is kind of the situation happening in the Syrian part of Kurdistan.
Fill me in. Well, I saw something, didn't they? I saw Lindsey Graham was going on some whole thing today about how the guy they're killing. What's going on? Didn't they kill some person in Syria? And obviously they put the guy who's in charge of ISIS is now the president of Syria.
Yeah. So kind of the battle lines have kind of shifted where the people that we were working with 10 to 12 years ago and ongoing until very recently, things change, sides change quickly. And now we're kind of abandoning the Kurdish side and abandoning our positions, I think, because of a greater deal with, our former Al-Qaeda in Iraq president of Syria now. It's kind of funny.
So what is this? Yeah. So tell me more about this. What exactly does this mean for the future of Syria?
So when ISIS was pushed out, American forces kind of acted as the Air Force, and our ground forces were kind of these various Kurdish groups. Among them, is the band PKK, group, and it's kind of one of those rare terrorist groups that we're also quasi-allied with. That we occasionally support and occasionally back them both in the fight against ISIS in Iraq and in Syria. And they kind of formed this new faction, this new coalition, and they took over the northeast areas. So as they kind of pushed out ISIS, they occupied these kind of traditionally Arab areas. So you had kind of these Kurdish minorities in the area, empowered by U.S. backing, kind of occupying areas, occupying tribes that they historically didn't, and kind of expanding their reach. Okay. And the Kurds are kind of natural enemies and kind of historic enemies to Turkey, and so Turkey has kind of long wanted them gone, long wanted them eliminated. And so things are kind of back to where they were in about 2014, where the Kurdish areas are kind of encircled again. It's kind of like ISIS, kind of the same thing is happening where they're kind of in fortress cities like Kobani, just kind of holding out. They were offered a couple deals to kind of reconcile, but it meant kind of not having their own. They kind of want their own carve out. They're allied with Israel. Ostensibly, Israel is kind of their backer just because they kind of see themselves in a similar situation. They're surrounded by enemies. But it's also, they have issues with the Kurds that are in Iraq. So the issues with Kurds is that they're not unified. They're not a unified force, and they're kind of getting pushed around right now by the Arab and Turkish kind of coalition. But the people that are taking over these areas, the Arab fighters, they're like ex-ISIS fighters. So they're kind of terrorizing and doing a lot of, war crimes and stuff as they're advancing. But just this whole kind of Kurdish project in Syria, which was kind of leftist, Marxist, has kind of failed to take roots over the Arab tribes. And so their support has kind of collapsed. And this has happened just really quickly within the last few days. They've lost over 2/3 of the territory that they were controlling. So
2/3. And so what do you expect to happen with this?
they'll be completely wiped out. Well, there's going to be some kind of battle because the areas, so they've lost the areas where they were not traditionally in power, right? So they were occupying Arab lands. And I have some stories because I used to live in the region. So
are you from Syria?
I know some people. No, I'm white. I'm a war tourist at best. Anyway, I just used to live in the area, and I knew a guy that he was white as well. He was European, and he went to fight for one of the Christian militias, but it was under the umbrella. It was like a Christian. There was a bunch of people there. There was Marxists, Leninists, left-wing people. These were the same people that were fighting ISIS, because that's what the Kurdish they're leftist, they're feminist. They were very proud of kind of having women, fighting with them. But these same women now in the last few
women
days
fighting in Syria.
The YPG, the Women's Protection Groups. There's women.
Okay.
So this is part of it's kind of like Marxist. They were influenced by the Soviet Union, and this goes back a long time because they've been fighting Turkey, and they were kind of the Kurds were allied with the Soviet Union, at one point, and they got training by the KGB and stuff. Anyway, so this whole situation has just kind of fallen apart, and the U.S. has kind of abandoned them, and that's why you're seeing Lindsey Graham, because this is on behest of Israel. Israel would like them to have some kind of presence in the region just to kind of serve as a wrench in the works of full Syrian unification. And that's just going to happen in the last.
So this is basically what you're saying is they're just worried about how this will. They don't care so much about what goes on in Syria, but they worry about how this concerns Israel.
Ostensibly, yes, and U.S. interests as well, because they are very pro-Western. They are very pro-U.S. And they were seeking kind of to have a similar deal that they have in Iraq. In Iraq, they have a semi-autonomous area. So they don't control the airspace, but they basically kind of run the show on the ground. Okay. And this is all kind of and the same Kurdish groups, they're also the ones kind of inciting instability in Iran right now as well. So it's just kind of, because Kurdistan is not a country on the map, but it's just kind of an occupied people in a couple different countries.
Right.
So they have a presence in Turkey, in Syria, in Iraq, and in Iran.
Huh. We should give them their own country. Are they trying to get their own? Do the Kurds want their own country?
Yes, obviously they tried, but the thing is they've never been able to really unify. They're very, very tribal, and so they constantly just kind of stab each other in the back. So this happened when I was there. So they controlled Kirkuk in the chaos when ISIS was kicked out. They took over this was in Iraq. They took over areas that weren't theirs at the time. So when the central government forces fled ISIS, they kind of took over in the vacuum and then controlled those areas. And then finally, when the central government Baghdad became strong enough again, they kind of retook those areas by force. But they did that because some of the Kurdish sides kind of turned on each other and made a separate deal. And so again, they have some Kurdish groups, they're kind of loyal to kind of area elements within Iran. The ones in, Abdul are kind of loyal to Turkey, and the ones in Syria were kind of against both of those sides, right? So they were kind of trying to go their own way.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of a great victory for Turkey, so a great victory for Erdogan, and also Trump has probably given this his blessing, wanting to exit the region. But just the same people that kind of fought for us and were our ground forces and were so celebrated on the news for their bravery are now being slaughtered. And again, it's not on CNN. It's not on any newsreel. Nobody's really talking about it, that this is happening, and it's happening very quickly.
Crazy. After the show, I'm going to go look into this some more. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. That was very interesting.
Take care.
Thank you. Interesting. We gotta just get away from these mud people. You gotta just let the mud people duke it out, Can't be involved. They're just too volatile. All right. Let's go to my new favorite low-value male foil, the most hated scrote of them all, Abdul from Minneapolis. Abdul, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Dude, you're getting people so fired up. I love it. What's up, man?
Oh, yeah, I'm calling you from the stolen lands of the Sioux and the natives.
So keep going, keep
I'm
going.
telling the truth, man.
Keep going.
Now they're trying to steal Greenland. Now they're trying to steal Venezuela oil.
Hey, but by your logic,
Hey,
by your logic, they just landed some boats there. What? Just because they landed some boats there, it's theirs? The Danish?
The Danish, they're still from the Inuit.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what they did for the native women and girls in the island? They forcefully sterilized them without their knowledge.
Really?
So there's thieves all around.
So if they're all bad, if they're all bad, you must have a little American imperialist in you. If you go, they're all bad, why shouldn't we have them?
Well, I do. I mean, there's a part of me that, like, when I hear we do something abroad, I'm like, fuck yeah, America,
So you pick your spots. By the way, are you on speakerphone right now? If you're on speakerphone, can you go on the headset? It's just kind of, you sound like you're in a very far away.
I am. I'm wearing Bluetooth headphones.
Oh, you're wearing Bluetooth headphones. It's okay.
I can see if I can get off them.
Yeah, they just don't sound great, but I can hear you. It's fine. So what's the you're like the Minneapolis, like you're in like the Minneapolis Bureau of Low Value Mail. What's going on in Minneapolis? You see that the church stuff, Don Lemon? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. You gotta understand, Minneapolis St. Paul area is very liberal, and there's been a long history of liberal activism here, and
I can tell.
When people talk about Antifa, like us and Portland and LA are basically like the headquarters, if you will.
Sure.
And it's not a coincidence that he chose Minneapolis, Trump.
Well, I mean, it's a sanctuary city. Like, did you see that clip? I mean, the one clip where you go, which, it's quite illuminating, is when these people were like protesting an ICE agent and they were like, blowing whistles. And he's like, this guy we're trying to get is a child sex offender that was released back into the community because the city doesn't cooperate with us. Because normally, like I did Jimmy Fallon's show last week on Fox News Radio. And he's like, Tom Homan was sitting in your chair like yesterday, and he's just explaining, and he's like, normally in most states, it's like if they bust an illegal alien who gets convicted of sex offense, they're like, they just hand him over to ICE at the jail. So there's no need for like this whole scene. But in Minneapolis and Portland and other like sanctuary cities, like they just let them back in the community. So we have to go find them now. And the ICE agent was like, you guys are defending like a pedophile. Like, we're trying to catch a pedophile and remove him, and you guys are defending him.
So my criticism is, why are you not targeting those people? Why are you doing this wide dragnet where they're pulling over Black Americans? They jailed a few Native Americans.
Yeah.
The irony there is delicious. They're doing what is called racial profiling. Hey, you got a funny accent. Where are you from?
Yeah.
By the way, very, very highly illegal what they're doing. Apparently, I'm the only one on your show that actually loves America, because America is not blood on soil. America is an ideal. The founding fathers and all that, they said all men are created equal. But then again, I'm just an ignorant immigrant. Never mind the bachelor's degree I have from the University of, I won't say where.
Okay, good idea. But so, and I agree. Yeah, obviously, they probably that's from Tom Homan. That is probably somewhat of an oversimplification because, you know, we've seen a million videos where like, yes, they are legitimately like, yeah, you have an accent. Let's see your papers. And this probably will not bode well for the Republicans coming up this year. But obviously you agree, like, you know, that's always the thing with racial profiling is that's the whole debate is you go, well, we definitely lower crime, but then we do catch some people. Like racial profiling by design is somewhat of a drag, like, you know, casting a wide net, right? Like that's always what it is it's always some people kind of get caught in the net, but it's probably overall better for crime. But then, you know, we did the racial profiling. We've done the no racial profiling. You know that there's more crime with no racial profiling, but then it impedes on the rights of people. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. Obviously, I would not want to be racially profiled personally. Like, you know, and New York City, like New York City famously, there's all these people who went to Rikers Island because they're like, yeah, I was just walking around and I was black and some cops basically just like made me turn out my pockets and had like a joint on me. And I can't imagine a lot of the liberty loving Americans are like, yeah, that's what should happen. You had a joint in your pocket and you were black. Like that should happen. So yeah, it's a tough spot. But again, the city could, you know, I guess maybe an argument could be made, and I don't know if this is true, but that if the city, you know, cooperated and didn't let these people back out on the streets, they wouldn't have to do this stuff. I don't know. But then I don't know if this is fully happening in red states. So.
I mean, I think they could do it in a much more targeted way. This is a huge dragnet. You're seeing, I would go to, it's called iceout.org. It's just basically people posting in real time what's going on.
Yeah.
They're knocking on doors. They're doing like, they're doing totally random. They're pulling people over at random.
Do you personally know anybody who's been pulled over? Any Somalis?
Me personally, no, but it's all over the internet where you can, I don't know. Well, I personally seen them. They drove by me. So a lot of times sometimes they won't even like come out of the car. They'll just watch you. They'll drive by. I've seen them driving by me. One time I was cleaning my car a week ago. They drove by me like 3 times. They always have the tinted windows.
Yeah.
And it's an SUV from like an out of town. And you're like, I know that's them.
Yeah.
So they'll always jump out of the car and snatch you up. But I got to tell you, they've disrupted daily life so much so that we're basically back to like COVID times where every restaurant's closing their doors. Economic activity's down. They're only opening to customers. No one's open. A lot of restaurants, they're only opening the door after the customer knocks on the door.
You gotta knock and they unlock the door.
Yeah, one at a time, basically, because they're everywhere. You gotta understand, ICE is like all. Think about any retail shops, all the shopping centers, the clinics, the schools. You heard about the woman that they tackled.
You know what? It's funny. So
right outside of the high school where.
I was going to do. Yeah. I have an idea for a sketch about a place called like a hockey rink in Minneapolis called like the Minneapolis Ice Center, where they're basically like, because of their name, they're like, you know, having all these problems. And I went and looked up like Minneapolis ice rinks just to see if there was a place called the Minneapolis Ice Center, just because I thought that'd be hilarious. And the Minneapolis like Parks and Rec website, if you go to it, they're like all events are canceled. They said I think it was for this weekend or for next weekend. They're like all events are canceled like completely because of this. Essentially, they're like everything's canceled. There's no sports.
I cannot underscore how much daily life has been disrupted here. I bet when the report card comes out, you're gonna see economic activity like way down. Kids are keeping their home. A lot of parents are keeping their kids home, doing the online thing.
I can't imagine Trump cares about it. But don't you think Trump's going to be like, great? That's great.
He despises us. I mean, I want to give a quick shout out to the people of Minneapolis and the people of Minnesota. I feel very welcome over here. A lot of people like you hate it. The people of Minneapolis, the people of Minnesota, they're the nicest people that I've ever met.
Oh, you must be like...
They're the most polite people. They're the most welcoming people. And a lot of them were, that rally a couple of days ago?
Yeah.
There was a lot of people there holding signs. Immigrants are welcome here.
You must be like a celebrity. Like almost like you must be the top of the... Like a Somali immigrant in Minnesota to left-wing people right now?
Absolutely not. I'm just a normal guy I'm just a normal everyday. I'm a low-income American who pays way too much attention to politics.
Yeah.
But I'm a nobody. I didn't steal any white person's job. Most of my jobs that I worked at were like $15 an hour jobs.
Are you, how old are you? How old are you?
Why do you blame the corporations? How come corporations never get into trouble for hiring illegals? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
What, they want to blame us? They want.
I agree. They should.
That's all I have to say today. But thank you for having me.
Abdul, last question. Are you, is there a Miss Abdul? Or are you single?
I'm sorry. They used to be when I was younger. In my younger days,
you're not single?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
I was gonna say you must like if you go on. I bet if you go on like some dating apps right now in Minneapolis, you might. I bet you would do pretty good right now. Just being like a fucking Somali dude.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm loving the single life.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I keep getting older and they stay mid-20s. That's why I like them.
But I bet like some liberal white women in Minneapolis right now, you must fucking kill it in that demographic.
I
bet you're doing all right.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I love black women. Number one.
Yeah.
Black American women, especially.
There you go.
That's my jam. Black American women. But I absolutely, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, Abdul. I'm gonna let you go, but good talking to you.
Okay, bye.
Abdul, everybody. John Doe 742 says, "Hey Danny, allegedly Tim Walz is a Chinese spy that leaked American tank plans in his time serving the National Guard. No one is talking about it. I will look into that. I've never heard that before." Logan Sorter says, "The current thing is yet another form of the overarching Hegelian dialectic. Are we hitting the goal tonight, boys?" And Aggressive Yeti says, "Remember when this was a conspiracy show?" Yeah, you know what? I do think, I was thinking about that last night. I go, there's so much going on right now that, could be essentially real-time conspiracies. And I'm like, we're going to talk about fucking chemtrails again? Like we're going to do another episode of chemtrails? I don't know. It doesn't seem that, unfortunately, I know that I had more conspiracy-related stuff in the past. It just doesn't seem that interesting to me at the moment. And I will have some conspiracy guests on, but I feel like we have conspiracies happening in real time. So anyways, all right, let's go to, let's put these back to back. I think these two calls. Hello, the Goob.
It's fucked up, Danny, bringing me on right after that piece of shit.
That was no accident, the Goob. That was no accident.
I need a few minutes to fucking, relax after that shit. God damn. I was actually calling for a totally innocuous reason, but now
that was no mistake on my part. I'm fucking going full Jerry Springer on this show. I was actually thinking about connecting the two of you into one call.
Oh God, dude, your channel would get deleted.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a massive solar storm tonight. And,
I saw something about that.
People are going to be able to see the northern lights. Like,
and there's been many of these recently, right?
Yeah, because of the spicy sun. If you remember when you had me on a guest way back, I said that this would be happening.
Yeah.
Because the sun's getting spicy and our magnetic field is deteriorating, and we're heading towards quite possibly a global catastrophe within the next few years.
That is the last thing we need right now is what it would be like an EMP or something like something.
Yeah, that would be part of it. So it would, depending on how intensely we get hit, it could be that electronics just go down. It could be that every fucking house and building and electrical wire bursts into fire, and there's just truly massive chaos and destruction. But even if just the grid went down on half of the planet, that would also be pretty unbelievable, massive destruction, because like we don't have any backup infrastructure.
I know that.
Like all of our grid is totally unprotected, but then even, once it is down, like we don't have the transformers and stuff sitting and ready. Like they would all have to be manufactured fresh to be replaced.
And probably made in China.
So it's right. Assuming that they're not taken down as well.
Yeah.
So it's like if our grid goes down, it would not be back up anytime soon, even in the best case scenario.
I think I remember like when Kash Patel came into the FBI, he essentially said something like that, where he's like, we have no backup plan. He's like, we should have literally giant, warehouses or like caves or whatever full of this equipment. And he's like, we don't have any of it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's right about that.
That's
for sure.
It's not good.
But, you look at like the Carrington event, that was, a fairly strong solar flare, but we're getting hit more and more often with stronger and stronger flares, and our magnetic field is less than half the strength it was during the Carrington event, and it's dropping rapidly. So that lit the telegraph wires on fire. Imagine every single, all these lithium batteries and everything, they would all instantly explode. Every wire in every house would be on fire.
Everybody's phone in their pocket would just explode.
Unimaginable.
Like every phone would just explode instantaneously.
It would. I don't know how instantaneously, but probably pretty quick. You might feel it heating up and have time to pop it out or something. But if we're getting hit on the level where electronics everywhere are, combusting, like your phone blowing up would honestly be the least of your worries.
Yeah. Damn. At that point, it's just pure fucking end of the world shit, I imagine. I can't imagine that there's much, like, what do you even do if that happens? Just hope you live on a farm?
You live, in the mountains, away from everything.
Yeah. Like, I guess
you live underground or in the mountains. Those are like your two options.
Yeah. Last place you would want to be is any kind of city.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But in the meantime, enjoy the beautiful show. It should be kicking off around 10 p.m.
Is it visible? It's not visible
if you're
from
far
New York.
enough north, you can. Yeah, no, for sure. The problem with New York is the light pollution.
Right.
But latitude-wise, very much visible in New York. Like more than just a red glow. Like you're getting the full green columns.
That's crazy that Northern Lights. Yeah. Oh yeah, they have Northern Lights. Severe magnetic.
This is going to be one of the better shows since that big show we had many months ago.
Yeah, I couldn't see that one. I remember looking for it, and I think the light pollution was too much. I tried looking for it.
But if you want to catch it again, it will be here again because again the spicy sun and the magnetic field. So this is not the last opportunity you have to see it, but this will be.
I've never seen the Northern Lights ever in my life.
Same.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
Number one on my bucket list.
Yeah, I always wanted to go. I've been to like Alberta many times, but it just never. You can never see it when I was there. But I see whenever this happens, the people I know who live in Alberta just go in their backyard and you can the whole sky's lit up.
Yeah, I'd love that.
That's pretty cool. All right, Goob. Thanks, man. Goob, everybody. Didn't get him blowing up like the way I wanted. No, I'm kidding. Logan Sorter says, catch Danny at Fort Worth, March 13th and 14th. Yeah, these are all my dates. Pittsburgh, April 9th, Chicago, Detroit, Charlotte, Washington, San Diego, Chandler, Arizona. I got Nashville coming up. I think somewhere a bunch of Florida dates. We got lots of stuff coming up. All right, let's go to Dylan. Dylan. Hello.
Kind of mix it up a little bit too.
Your reception. I don't know if you're on bad Wi-Fi or something, but I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me?
Yeah, that's a
Is that
little
any better?
Yeah, that's way better. Way better.
How about now?
Yeah, great.
Okay. All right. So, I wanted to switch it up because, we've been just kind of hammering the J's a little bit.
Sure. Who we hammering tonight?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to talk something about little supernatural.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
All right. So this is the story is about his family in Los Angeles in September to October of 1972.
Okay.
So this family was already kind of cursed, where the father was a widow, and both parents have actually been married before. The father had 3 sons, and the wife, her name was Carol, had 3 daughters. And like back then, you could still have like a big family with just one income pretty easily.
Yeah.
So the family, the husband actually had a pretty good career, and he was like an architect, which is important to the story. And he actually designed a building for a defunct cosmetics company that was like a lipstick tube. And his local newspaper actually hailed him as the Father of the Year. Guy was kind of like a local hero. Let me scroll down a little bit. So the father, Michael, is like pretty renowned for his work, and one of his projects actually was in Hawaii. His boss, Ed Phillips, ended up sending him out there for like a second look over for a replanning project. And he ends up taking his whole family, including their live-in maid, which again at the time wasn't like that uncommon. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever had like a dad that like did construction or had you bring you along on his work.
No, my dad was an engineer, but no, I never went to work with him.
Okay, well, anyway, so 2 of his sons, Robert and Gregory, were over at the job site, like kicking around dirt. And Robert ends up finding this weird little wooden statue on a string. It's basically like a little like tiki trinket necklace.
Yeah. Okay.
And being kids, they think it's cool and start wearing it around for good luck. And it ends up being actually like the opposite. And they really have like some odd, suspicious things happen. It like originally ends up kind of tame. And like the 3 brothers, they're over in Hawaii. They're in vacation, and they're sharing a bedroom. And sorry. And so they're sharing a bedroom, and at one point, a rather like heavy metal decoration falls off the wall that was hanging over the bed of one of them, and nearly impales the kid. And then, like, the next night, a tarantula somehow ends up crawling up into, like, the other brother, Peter, that was there in their hotel room. And then, like, they keep having these odd things that are, like, just making it difficult for them to sleep. And the older brother...
this is the Brady Bunch?
Sorry. The what?
The Brady Bunch?
What's the Brady Bunch?
Sounds like the Brady Bunch.
Motherfucker. God damn it, I had a whole fucking thing just set up.
So the best part is someone just said, I need to prioritize your calls and not prioritize Abdul. And you're just telling me a story from the Brady Bunch?
God damn, I didn't think you saw that episode.
I haven't seen any episodes of the Brady Bunch. I saw someone in the comments say the Brady Bunch, and then I started thinking about the whole description of the family and the fact that you're reading it. I go, yeah, this does sound like the Brady Bunch. The Living Nanny?
Oh, man, I thought I was being clever with that. I was halfway through. God,
all right,
damn,
well...
I really thought I was going to get you with that.
Yeah, all right. Well, another time, Dylan.
Right.
You rascal. Dylan, everybody. Shout out to whoever said it was the Brady Bunch. That's the calls you want prioritized? Whoever said that? That shit? Let's go to Wild Bill. Billy from Philly. What's up, man?
Daniel, son, I'm like Sam the Butcher bringing Alice the meat.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, I was in a rehab for 30 days for alcohol.
Oh,
and
no.
there were some dudes in there.
Recently?
Like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
No. Like 5 years ago. I've been sober since.
Congrats.
But there was a guy in there. He did heroin. He had to move, and he couldn't afford to get a hotel or an apartment. So he did heroin to go into this rehab center for 30 days, and he never attended. He just played ping pong and ate the whole time. There's dudes that go into these things to stay the weekend to get away from their girlfriends and shit, and they'll just go get all fucked up and then go into this rehab for 4 or 5 days just to get away from everything.
Isn't rehab expensive, though?
$30,000 a month. It's $1,000 a day, and all the insurances pay for it. So they're all construction dudes in there, and their bosses, and all their insurance are just paying.
Oh,
they're in there 3-4 times for a month at a time.
What? But because your insurance pays for it.
Yeah.
Because I was always under the impression that rehab's like this really expensive thing. But I guess if your insurance pays for it.
Yep. Yeah, they don't. Mine. I barely had insurance, and mine was fully covered from like the state. They'll put you in there, and they don't give you real good rehab because they want you to keep coming back. They don't do like the AA meeting. That's the best one. If you want to get sober, you go to an AA meeting. They do all this other shit.
Right.
That keeps you like second guessing yourself. So then there's all these return offenders in there because they don't get the real treatment. They're just like, if it happens, it happens. Come back.
And these places are just businesses at the end of everything in this country is like a fucking racket. Like from the first caller.
Everything.
Everything. They don't even want. Yeah, it's like if you want to help yourself, it sounds like these places are for like if you want to convince yourself, or you convince yourself that you want to help yourself, but you don't actually want to help yourself.
Right, yeah. So I just figured I've heard about that Somali shit and all that crap, so I figured I'd throw some more wasteful spending in there for your tax
Oh, man, that must be insane. I can't remember. I think it was Chris from Dallas was saying, I think it was him or somebody else I've heard saying something with like Florida rehabs where they kick you out and you go to like you just kind of, there's like a circuit and you just do all these rehabs and it's all insurance.
Man, there's dudes that pack 10, 12 guys into them because they get like $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month per person. And they just pack them into these things, 3, 4 in a bedroom, man. There's no oversight on it. It's just like you got numbers and you get paid from the state. And there's dudes that are multimillionaires just from rehab houses.
Oh,
mainly Florida because it's nice to go to Florida.
Right.
It's not cold. It's nice. There's hot bitches and everything. You ain't going to Minnesota to rehab in the wintertime. Screw that.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Everything in this country. All right, Bill. Good talking to you, man. Anything else?
Later,
man.
That's it.
Okay. Billy from Philly. All right, let's take I'm going to take this call just because this interests me. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
This is John.
John, where are you calling from, John, if you don't mind me asking?
Fort Smith, Canada there, Danny.
Oh, Fort Smith. That's up in
NWT there, bud.
The Northwest Territories. You're the first person who's ever called from the Northwest Territories. What the hell are you doing up there?
That's where I live.
You live up in the Northwest. I knew a comic actually.
Canada from the Indians.
Yeah, I knew a comic. This guy, and I actually had a friend of mine too. Both of them from Northwest Territories, actually.
You know Don Burnstick?
I do not know Don Burnstick, but no, his name was Steve McGovern, and I think he does shows there. I think he brings comedians up to Northwest Territories.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
What is going on in the Northwest Territories right now?
Besides the fact that we got like Indian cops now instead of like, and I don't mean like Indian like feather, I mean red dots. So that's pretty crazy.
Shut up. There's Indian police in the Northwest Territories?
Dude could barely speak English. Yeah.
What?
They're coming up here too.
That is crazy to me. So the Indians have made it all the way up to the Northwest Territories?
Yeah, man. They got them on the RCMP and everything.
And they can barely speak English.
Well, I couldn't understand him too good. Maybe a fellow Indian kid.
That's fucking crazy. You always think that you go, yeah, that's like one family will go up there to open an Indian restaurant somewhere, but generally that's kind of how it always was. It'd be like, there's probably a Chinese restaurant up there with a Chinese family all the way up in the Northwest Territories.
Yeah.
But usually,
they're everywhere now. They're at the gas station. They're at the local
gas station
stores.
makes sense.
They're running the liquor store now.
Damn.
Weed store.
Everything.
Corner store.
Is there any discussion from people in the Northwest Territories right now with all like the Greenland and the Alberta stuff of how that plays out
Not
for the
that
Northwest
I know
Territories?
of.
No, nobody's talking about that because you look at a map and you go, none of this shit's good for Northwest Territories or the Yukon. Or Nunavut, for that
That's
matter.
not too bad. Nothing's up here. They just come here and extract the resources, and we get fucking jobs as like housekeepers and truck drivers and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess the question is what happens with Alberta. But so, are you from Northwest Territories?
Yeah, I was born here, raised in Alberta, in BC a little bit of Saskatchewan.
And then you came back to the Northwest Territories. I've never been there.
Yeah, came back to work. City sucks. I'd rather just make money and leave when I want to, or just stay up here and chill.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I've always wanted to go up there. Never had a real reason to.
We'll have to get the band to sponsor a comedy show or something.
Yeah. I've done comedy on reserves too, like in Northern Ontario. I remember I did comedy on like the
Salt River first.
Yeah, I did comedy on a dry reserve, which I had never even heard of. No alcohol allowed.
Yeah, our liquor store closed at 8:00 here. 12 till 8.
12 till
limit
8?
the time where they can get the booze.
Yeah, that's probably not the worst idea. Cool, man. Well, thanks for calling in. Anything else you want to talk about?
Honestly, I wanted to say congratulations to Ryan on his new job with the CEO of Ryanair.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys continue doing the boys cast.
Yeah, fuck. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I love Israel. Bye.
Don't we all? All right, let's take some more calls here. Let's go to Drue. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail.
What's up, Danny?
What's up, Drue?
Yeah, chilling on this great MLK Day, man. I wanted to bring it back to MLK Day.
Yeah, let's talk about MLK Day. The guy loved horrors.
Yeah, can we get... Yeah, let's get serious, dude. Like, did he have a dog?
Did MLK have a dog?
He didn't.
He didn't have a dog. Interesting. I would have thought he might have had a dog.
What the fuck's up with that? If he had a dog, would he see dog dreams and be like...
Well, I see a photo of him.
I had a dream with...
There's a photo of him with a dog. This is from the New York... There was a post from the New York... Looks like a German Shepherd kind of mix.
Ooh.
Sorry. No. This is this is not his dog. This is from New York City Second Chance Rescue. There's a post on Facebook. It says, today we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. There's a quiet moment from history that many people don't know. In 1964, while Dr. King sat handcuffed in the back of a police car, a German Shepherd police dog was placed beside him to intimidate him. Instead, witnesses recalled the dog softening, lowering its ears, and leaning towards Dr. King as if seeking comfort.
Well, hey,
so that wasn't his dog.
It's a good boy.
It's a good boy.
It's a good boy, though.
Well, probably not. His handlers were not like good boy. His handlers were like bad dog.
No, his handler said bad boy.
Yeah, bad boy. It was a bad dog.
By the way, what would MLK say about if a dog had a dream?
I don't know. What would he say?
You ever seen a dog have a dream? It's
yeah,
scary.
my dog used to dream sometimes he would bark in his dreams and his legs would kick like he was running. Their dreams are just chasing sticks, basically.
Is that what you think it is? Like,
yeah, I don't think they're having high level dreams. I think they're just like chasing a ball.
So they're not dreaming like MLK, like their little
No, they're not like, I hope one day all dogs will gather together, the small dogs, the big dogs, the white dogs, the black dogs, in perfect racial harmony.
I did right. Hey, I did write in my notes. fucking white dogs over naked dogs.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's happening.
I don't know why I wrote that, but I think it was because Abdul was speaking.
Okay.
By the way, does Abdul, do you have a fucking dog?
It's a good question. Does Abdul have
Goddamn dirty piece of shit.
Hey! It's not nice. Let's try and keep it civil.
Well, I mean, he's not nice.
Here.
He's anti-American, dude.
He says he loves America.
Anti-America.
Well, he says he loves America in the way that
America.
in the way that a leftist loves America, and that they kind of do hate America, but then they enjoy all the bounties of America. I'm on board with you, to be honest. It's take it or leave it. That's how I kind of,
Yeah, what the hell, Abdul? Also, my last thing is, because I was thinking about this too on MLK Day.
Yeah.
Don't dogs just like not pay for houses and they just have people pay for houses for them? Like
they are a bunch of freeloaders, but that's kind of how they've evolved, you know? That's like their evolution.
Isn't that how we solve the economy?
Is make dog, well, but how do they get money?
Make them work, dude.
Just put them to work. I mean, some dogs do have jobs. Some of them are actors. Some of them are drug sniffing
Michael
dogs.
Vick had a plan.
Oh, you want to put them to work that way? No, I think they're just they got a good system going. They just kind of look there, sit around and look cute, and they're funny.
So they stuck to Wishbone?
Yeah, and we just kind of take care of them. They are expensive, man. If you've never owned a dog, holy shit, are they fucking expensive. I had no idea until my last dog.
They're crazy expensive.
It is insane how expensive a dog is. Like, you do not realize when you're buying a dog. Money. Yeah, some people, like my ex from like 15 years ago, her dad was this like old school farm guy, grew up on a farm, and they always had dogs, and he had a thing where if a vet bill was ever more than $300, he just got rid of the dog. So there is a new dog. That's the thing. There is a way to own dogs cheaply, but you have to be like a fucking just the coldest, like most soulless guy. You have to just literally, your dog, and you just got to be like, sorry, man, your vet bill is $450. I guess we're just gonna take you out back. It's tough.
You got an old yeller.
You got an old yeller. I could never do that. You got to be a different type of constitution as a person to just have a dog for whatever 6 years and be like, yeah, you broke your leg. I guess we're gonna kill you now. Could you do that?
Fuck no, dude.
No. No, it's
hell no. I cried with my dog when he died.
Yeah, me too. I'm not fucking being like, yeah, you've become. That's not even like a crazy financial burden. You're just like, yeah, $400. That's a lot of money. You could buy a PS5 with that kind of money. All right, Drew. I'm gonna let you go. Anything else, man?
All right, Danny.
Wish everybody another happy MLK Day.
Happy MLK Day. God bless everyone.
Later, Drew. Drew, everybody. All right. We got 3 more calls. Phone lines are open. I probably don't have room for another caller, but maybe I do. 1-888-949-2969. Let's see what we got here. And if you want me to do an extra 45 minutes, we're still many super chats away. It doesn't look like it's happening. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Will.
Will. What's up, Will?
Oh, dude. So much. It's retarded and most of it's fake and gay.
Yeah, let's hear it all.
Let's talk about some real shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get another dog at some point. They're really not that expensive because the veterinary industry is a fucking, just like everything else.
Yeah.
It's a scam.
It's a scam. Well, the thing is like the cost curve of a dog is very flat, I feel like, in the early years of owning a dog. Like the first, would say probably, unless you're unlucky, the first 8 years of dog ownership are probably fairly cheap. And then it just is like a hockey stick. and it becomes insanely expensive at the end.
Oh, well, hold on, because I have a 16-year-old, about medium-sized dog. She's about ready to go here soon.
Okay.
No, I'm not spending money on her. Are you kidding me?
But what happens
when it does come time?
You're just putting her down?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm taking her out to the middle of the forest and putting a 22 through her head.
How could you kill your own dog to save? How much does it cost to put a dog down?
It's like I live out in like rural Oregon.
Okay.
So the cost difference between you and the city is, of course, a huge difference.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's like $100 to put her down, but it's done with love. Because
you're going to shoot your dog in the head with a 22 with love?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Plus
have you done this before?
Have you know what the economy is right now?
I know the economy's rough. My question is, have you done this before to another different dog?
No.
Okay, so once the rubber meets the road here, I feel like this is a way harder thing to do in practice. I think in your mind, you're like, I'm just going to do this.
Oh no, at this point, no. It's going to be a little bit of a tearjerker, but it's definitely the thing about it is it's all psychological. It's a cathartic, you're releasing it. You're letting go.
So you're going to let your dog get to like a really rough spot where you're like, I'm actually putting this dog out of its misery.
Yeah, no, but till then she's fucking having the best time of her life.
Damn, man, I could not do that. I know there are people who do that. I'm sure that's like a rural mentality, I suppose. I could not do that.
Well, you are Canadian, so one of these days you'll move out to a rural area. You'll get tired of the city. You move out to
I'm already tired of the city. I mean, the person, my ex who I was referencing, her dad grew up on a farm in northern Ontario. And yeah, he did that. He was a cop. He probably was just taking his fucking, his gun and
his aggression out. No, actually,
that's not what I was going to say. Yeah, go ahead. The first caller talking about the home in the suburbs and stuff like that. Yeah,
that situation is so much worse than you can imagine.
Tell me about
I've worked 20 years in mental health, adult foster care. I've worked in rehab, and man, dude, the money getting shelled out. Ooh. And a lot of these homes are ran by immigrants.
And now, are they run by immigrants because it's the type of like thing that native-born people do not want to do, or are they figured out a thing? Like, is this like a scheme they figured out, or they're like nobody wants to do this and immigrants are just happy to do this?
No, it's just that the government has given preferential treatment to these people.
Gotcha. So if you wanted to go open up one of these things,
it's
obviously,
like everything else. We know that they're flooding the country to replace us.
Yeah.
We know. Okay, well, I don't know if you're on the white genocide.
I'm not on the white genocide thing. I'm on the. This is an economy thing, and I'm on the thing where if whites were procreating at a high enough amount, they wouldn't do this. They're not just like, rubbing their hands together being like, we got to get rid of whites. They're just like, whites aren't fucking pulling their weight in terms of reproducing. Where else do you get people from?
Well, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you can go to intelligent levels because, let's take it back to Abdul.
Yeah.
He might be finding out what blood and soil really means. But if there is genetically something linked to IQ, and it comes down to the ability to comprehend concepts.
Mm-hmm.
People have low IQ, and they've lowered the IQ level to, believe me, I know the retards. I've been around them.
Yeah.
And the ability to understand a concept creates civilizations. And there's a reason why nothing has been created in sub-Saharan Africa. I mean, the tallest
wasn't it like two?
Was an ant-man.
Yeah, wasn't it like 2 stories or something?
No, they didn't have second floors. They couldn't do second floors.
Oh, they didn't have second floors. Okay.
Yeah, and it all comes down to the ability, like in India, and this is interesting because like the British went everywhere, for whatever reason, but they built these amazing infrastructures. And then when they left, these people couldn't maintain them because they didn't actually have a word for maintenance.
Yeah. I saw the some Africa, it was like Nigeria or something. It was like some show in Nigeria or a podcast, and the guy's like, yeah, we don't have a word for maintenance. That's why everything's falling apart.
Right. That's why they keep going and building all these wells, and they come back and these wells are broken. They're like, well, a goat fell in it.
But so how does this go back to the white genocide thing?
Because of IQ and the ability to create civilization.
So are you saying that white people's IQs are so high that they don't want to procreate?
No, I say they've been programmed to not procreate, and they've been pushed to not procreate. This is why you get...
Even with their high IQs?
Countries, no. Well, programmability. I don't know if you... I assume everybody's listening to Kurt right now because he's on a roll.
Yeah, Kurt's great.
He hasn't gotten into that area yet.
Soon.
So I'm an Asian supremacist.
Okay.
Because I keep seeing videos of these people doing way better than whites. But the thing about it is, something about white people are we one of the most altruistic, and I'm not saying supremacy, everything like that, power, whatever. That's a whole different. I'm talking rational, looking at the algorithms, the behaviors of people. White people tend to be more empathetic and altruistic because these are actually higher concepts. Whereas if you are in a lower IQ concept, you are just, primitive. This is why we call people
tribal.
Primitive.
Yeah.
Tribals.
Sure.
It's a low IQ concept. So if you can't conceptualize above that, you ain't going to have it.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand that. I still don't understand how I just wanted the white genocide thing. Like,
well,
I just don't.
think it comes down to because when you threaten our way of life, we will eradicate you.
Sure. That I understand.
And the ways that we will do it in are far superior. I mean, that's why the British, dude, if you go back and look at the ships the British had, they are crazy. The engineering that went into that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys, New York City.
But who owned the ships?
Well, I think you know who's owned the ship.
So then why are you giving the British credit for that?
Well, because the British, who do you think the Jews got the ships from?
I'm kidding. Okay, so, all right. So I see what you're saying to a degree. I guess.
Right, no, this is all. I've firmly come to the fact that I think everyone is a psychopathic retard down here.
Okay.
On this plane of existence, you talk to anybody, and the most intelligent people on the earth, they're going to say something profoundly retarded at some point.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So we're fucked. We're surrounded by retards.
So you're just full doomer. You're just like, we're just fucked. Nothing can course correct this.
Oh no, blood in the soil.
Blood in the soil.
That can correct it, but extremely. I think it was that clip that Ari said. We can't vote our way out of this.
Yeah.
Only the shedding of the blood of tyrants will save us. But everybody's a pussy these days.
Everybody is a pussy, which might be a good explanation for why people aren't having kids, especially whites, because they're just too comfortable and they're just huge pussies.
We have in our foods and everything too.
Yeah.
This brings us back to the retards. Like, why are there so many retards running around? Well, because all your food's poisoned, your water's poisoned, your air's poisoned. They're pumping you full of chemicals in hospitals that, they literally bred the retard race.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, I got to let you go because I got a bunch of other callers to get to, but...
one thing real quick.
Go ahead.
Can you get a hold of Hatem? And I've been trying to get him to do a State of NYC episode forever, because I'm really interested on what's going on in NYC, like on the ground.
Hot Tam from the cellar?
Yeah.
I mean, I have his number. What do you want me to ask him?
No, I'd like to see an episode. I've been trying to get him to do like the state of NYC. Everybody's talking about NYC. What's going on, really?
I mean, I could tell you it's pretty business as usual. I live here. It's honestly, there's no market. I mean, economically, some things have changed. Rents are fucking somehow still sky high and going higher. It's different pre and post COVID.
All right.
Yeah, but it's honestly like, so I've only lived here for, I don't know, 6.5 years. It's pretty much the same, other than you can't get a meal at like 2 a.m. anymore. It's not the city that doesn't sleep anymore. It definitely sleeps now.
Yeah, no, it's on the downside. I went to Times Square and I was not impressed by, big TVs on buildings.
Yeah, that's like the whole like, oh, you can do anything at 4 a.m. here now. That's kind of over.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Other than that, pretty much the same. All right, man. Thanks for calling in. All right. Phone lines are closed. Don't call in anymore. All right. I was going to take Slav's call now, but with that call, I feel like I got to take a different call just to, spread them out, but I'll get to them. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking
Hello.
with? Hello.
This is Chris.
Chris, what's up, man?
Oh, what's up, man? I was just listening to your conversation right now. The problem, like, there's no conspiracy. Like, the thing is I just turned, I'm about to turn 32. So I was in high school around 2013. That was my year that I was supposed to graduate, but I dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is back in our day, well, I'm Hispanic, I'm not white, so
yeah.
It's across the board, The thing is that back then we had a lot of chicks pregnant in high school, and they would always tell us, you don't want to end up like that. You don't want to, I knew kids who were 13 years old with their fucking, with the baby. I knew there was kids 15, 16 years old with the kids. I went to middle school and there was chicks pregnant back then.
It's funny you say that, because I was reading something about teen pregnancy and how it's basically non-existent now. That is something that I think in a weird way they'll look back on being like, that was a mistake, that we kind of shut that down.
Honestly, it worked too well on us. It worked too well because I just said, like, I'm about to turn 32 and I still haven't had kids, like my mom, she went from telling me and my little sister, don't get pregnant. And I'm Hispanic, so we had my mom telling all of us, like, don't get pregnant, don't have kids, and then like now she's like, when are you guys going to have kids, and it's like,
not to mention,
I think that's across the board.
Yeah. But also like when you're in high school, like, especially my age, maybe your age too, but like they made it seem like getting pregnant was so easy. And then if you talk to anybody who's actually trying to have a kid, they're like, it's actually so hard. But essentially told us, you go, oh, no, it's so easy to get pregnant. You're like, even at that age, you go, you have like a 4-day window every month where you can get pregnant. Other than that, it's really fucking hard.
Yeah. And when girls, when they're younger, especially, they're a lot more fertile, and then like, when I think 30 to 35, or I think 35 and beyond is called like a geriatric birth. It is
geriatric.
Like, it gets harder and harder the older you get, and like my girl, she was like talking about like she wants to like have kids in like 5 years. I'm like, girl, like you're not fucking 18 anymore,
No.
Like it's like ridiculous. Like and like girls now, they want to go to college, they want to do all this.
Have a career,
and travel the world. And
if Trump was smart, I know
shit.
Trump said before the last election that he was going to make IVF free, but that would be a pretty good solution to at least some of this problem, because IVF is so expensive, and a lot of women, people are like, oh, why don't women in their 20s get their eggs frozen? You're like, well, it costs $5,000 or $10,000. You're like, they don't have the money for it. If it was the type of thing you could do for free, I'm sure a lot more women, especially if they had some sort of like information going around, some sort of campaign, at least you can maybe get women on board with that. And then once you have your eggs, you could probably have a kid till you're 45.
Possibly, you know, but like, you know, like women are also fed like a lot of, you know, feminist nonsense, like go have your career, go be a hoe, do all this stuff. And having a kid, like, you know, I was talking to my girl, she was like, oh, I want to travel the world before I have kids. I'm like, you could travel with kids, you know? Like,
I see it all the time.
Like
people do it all the time.
So it's like, that's like such a ridiculous argument. And, like, I don't believe in that, you know? I don't see having kids as like any like problem, you know? Like, even if it's like a financial burden, like poor people have kids all the time, you
Tons
know?
of kids.
Man,
did you see that documentary on all those Jews in upstate New York? They're all like, we have fucking 10 kids each, and they're all on welfare.
Yeah. And another thing, I've called before, and I've mentioned that I don't hate the Jews. And, but you know what? Actually, I kind of admire them, to be honest. You know, because of I follow like a couple of Jewish people, and they're always giving like financial advice and like giving like, you know, talking about mortgages and all this stuff. And
there's this like Orthodox rabbi on that I keep seeing popping up on my Twitter, and he's basically like pretty based, giving like advice kind of guy.
Yeah. I think that's the same guy that I follow too. He's like reading like things out of the Torah and shit.
Yeah, but he's like pretty based.
Yeah, and I dig that because, well, Hispanics aren't like financially literate, you know, for the most part. The only times we gather money together is to throw a quinceañera or a wedding, you know, and then it's gone after a day, right?
Yeah.
So I like taking a lot of Jewish advice on like what to do with my money, because nobody in like my culture really. Yeah, because, you know, I see these things where it's like, oh, like in like on Hanukkah, the Jews get together and they just talk about money, you know, and then like when they have like a kid's birthday or like a this, you know,
we gamble.
Not all of them, but that was like what I was like reading. And then like another thing, I was like struggling with my credit, man. Like like every time like my credit card bills would come up, like my entire paycheck would go to my credit card bills and my car payment and my rent and all this stuff. So I'm selling jewelry now, man, and it's honestly my favorite job, being a salesperson. Like I've always been like in the background working in the kitchen or in the warehouse and all this stuff, like flipping burgers or something. I'm also like forklift certified, but like as a like social person, you know, getting into a sales position, I feel like I've really like taken like a fish to water, if you will.
That's great.
And yeah, and it's like something that I just like you know, just getting your money right is like, you know, like something that everyone should do. And like if everybody else is going to hate the Jews, I'll be the one who's taking their advice. And
there you go, a bit of a contrarian. Bit of a contrarian.
I'm always the contrarian. I've always been the contrarian, you know, and like that's my take on it. But
cool, man.
As far as like replacement theory, you know, that I don't think there's like a grand conspiracy to make people not have kids. It's actually people just were told not to have kids at a young age, so they kind of kept that in mind.
And then there was the feminism aspect of it, where they're like, you're not just like a baby maker and should have all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And the dude, you know how many people I know who are like leftist environmentalists who are like, yeah, we need less people on Earth. Like they believe that. They go like, the Earth's overpopulated. And he goes, go look at a fucking map
and then
of
they're
where
like,
people
I don't
live.
want to bring a kid into a cruel world.
Yeah, all that. I was like, oh, Trump's president. I couldn't have a kid and bring a kid into this world. Like, there's a million fucking different things going on. All right, I got to let you go, but thanks, man. All right. This is going to be we got Dylan says, wife's in her 20s. I've gotten her pregnant 2 times while on BC. Nothing makes women my age seethe more than knowing my wife is fertile and very racist. Congrats, Dylan. Congrats. It's kind of a win-win here. Drue says, can I call back and get a direct line to Abdul? I got something to say. Jerry Blanche voice. Dylan also says it's easier to train a smart dog. Michael Malice. And then Dios Bendinga America says, Dios, sorry. Dog ownership is expensive for city folk. Fucking got that right. If you saw the bills that I had in the last 2 years of my dog's life, they would make your fucking eyes bleed. All right. Last call of the night. If you didn't get through, I apologize to you. Try again next week. Hello.
Oh, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, yeah. I tuned in late, but you said you were trying to get some conspiracies.
Someone was complaining that there's less conspiracies on the show, but
yeah. So I thought of one, or I remembered one. I was trying to think of one that isn't directly tied to the Jew.
That must be tough.
So.
You must have to rack your brain for that.
Dude, like, you know, you show me the crime, I'll show you the Jew, man. You know? Like, yeah. Like it is actually, it's not like, I mean, it's actually, you would think it's exhausting, but it's actually like really easy. Where it's like knowing that the Jew literally, like, if there's anything you can complain about,
yeah,
I can literally tie. Yeah, it's not that hard. It's pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one, I mean, now that I think about it, holy shit!
Is it?
It's so lead paint.
Yeah.
We don't use it, and they want to blame it all on you know, kids eating that shit.
Yeah, I think just lead in general is bad.
Well, no, it's relatively harmless. I mean, it's like the same thing with asbestos.
Isn't it like same with pipes? Like there's just like lead pipes are bad. Obviously, I'm sure in small doses it's fine, but
it's
you don't want to be exposed to it over
like
time.
with asbestos, I mean, with asbestos, it's a problem when it becomes airborne.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you break it apart and all the bits get airborne and you can breathe it in.
Yeah, that's bad.
But when it's compacted and sealed, it's totally fine and it does what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with lead. I mean, it is a problem when you have like leaded gasoline because that's just becoming airborne through the combustion.
Right.
But with lead paint, so lead it blocks all sorts of radiation. It blocks EMF. It can block, you know, there was that silly scene in that Indiana Jones movie, you know, he hides himself in a lead-lined refrigerator during a nuclear blast.
Yeah, don't they, when you go to the dentist and you get x-rays, don't they give you like a lead?
You get the little lead, you get a lead vest, yeah, all that. Yes. So, and then now everybody's got cancer and shit. They got, you know, they're exposed to this and that. They get all the EMF signals. Dudes have like low sperm count or low motility.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they got phones in their pockets and shit. But yeah, no, it's I mean,
I've had a phone in my pocket for like 20 years and I have pretty good motility.
Sure. I mean, I hope you just, I wouldn't want your wife recreating. We don't need more of your kind. But yeah, no, like
so this is a pro lead? Is this a pro lead call?
Yeah. Kinda, yeah. Yeah, I'm pro lead.
And what's the conspiracy here? Because like obviously they don't need lead to make paint. I don't know if it's like makes paint cheaper or better.
Oh no, no. It makes it's a more solid.
Right, you're saying it keeps out all the waves, and then because they removed the lead to let all the waves, all the shit in to basically poison everybody. That's interesting.
Yeah, and then especially like I mean, the only nuclear threat that has been throughout history after Hiroshima and Nagasaki has only been Israel. I mean, they're the only ones who have ever truly threatened to use nukes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care. Like North Korea, they never they have nukes, but they never really threatened to use them.
I mean, they do missile testings on the reg. I feel like that's for some reason.
So what?
It's not an explicit threat.
Yeah, India and Pakistan both have nukes, and they have a blood feud that is unrivaled. Yet they won't even. They were supposed to fucking nuke each other. Never did.
Oh, I saw a funny thing you would like. Actually, was it's the under-19 cricket World Championships right now, and India is playing the U.S. and they showed the photo of both teams. Everybody's Indian. What happened? Did he just hang up on me? Did we lose Slav? All right. Well, he hung up on me for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't do that. All right. Well, we're over time. I don't know why Slav hung up, but all right. That's been the show. It's probably an accident, but I'm just going to wrap this up here. Thank you very much to everybody. We have another super chat. Oh, artist formerly known as Vince sent 10 low value mail gift memberships. All right. You know what? Based on all the gift memberships, we'll run this a little longer. Also, 30, I'll reopen the phone lines just out of pure altruism. 10 memberships. Thanks, Vince. Vince is the man. Okay, I wanted to talk about 300-1416 says, okay, I wanted to talk about Greenland in the context of the Canadian mineral industry. Didn't know how to contribute to the 45 minutes. Might be. All right, the phone lines are open we'll go for another little bit. You can call in 1-888-949-2969. Call back. Gerard, if you're listening, open the phones up. Open them back up. We'll get them open. All right, here we go. Someone opening my door? Oh, what's up, Johnny? Johnny Glover, everybody. The camera's running. All right. Unmute yourself, please. Hello.
Hey.
We're back.
Hey,
What'd you do?
My bad.
Did the Jews do that?
That was my fault. You were saying it was America versus India, and I was saying, are they both docked?
They are. They're the whole team. Both teams fully Indian. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that's like the International Math Olympics where
they're all
Team
Chinese.
America was up. Yeah.
It's just how it goes, I guess.
And have you ever played cricket?
No, but I watch sometimes. I'll see some cricket content, and I would like to play cricket actually because it seems like kind of baseball-ish, but obviously you got to hit the ball off the ground. And I don't get how they throw so fast when they can't bend their arm, but I guess it's because they run.
I always wondered why the fuck they wear like an American cowboy hat, like the referees.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I would like to play cricket. I would like to try it out, but there's nowhere to really play. Sometimes you'll see some Indian people playing in like, or around
here. Bro, they
like,
play that shit in parking lots.
Yeah, they play in parking lots.
Like
I know. I mean, I used to play baseball in parking lots.
No, they play it in obviously busy park. Like they don't know
that I've never seen.
The Indian, the third worlder has absolutely zero concept of time and place. It's seriously
no concept.
It is. I mean, also this whole it is funny how like we have foreigners telling us what our Western developed nations should be. And not realizing we can use that against them because they say like, oh, well, America's like a nation of ideas, right?
Sure.
Which it's not. But if it really was, why can't they just take those ideas and take it back to their shitholes? You know,
it's a good point.
They can't. Yeah, but what is it? The problem is that they believe in magical soil. They think something is really great because of its presence geographically and not the people who make it.
I mean, there is a geographical, as someone who's a geographer, obviously there's places that are blessed geographically and others places that are cursed.
Oh yeah,
and America is definitely blessed.
The entire continent of Africa, it's so fucking blessed.
That's true.
Material that's
true.
You know
true.
what? You know how blessed Africa is. Termites are better at building shelter and can build higher shelter than a fucking human.
Yeah.
You know
that
how
says a lot.
Africa is? Orangutans have higher IQ than Somalians.
No, that's not true.
Orangutans have a measurable IQ of 85.
No way.
That is, look it up. Danny, also, just to harp on this.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate how you mock me, Dylan, and Jared.
I've never, first off, your research is, I asked you last week, Slav, in the fucking chat, I go, you said something on the bathhouse, and I go, just post it, and you refused to post it.
And
it's because it didn't.
Go there. Go to the Patreon chat. I've been posting a lot of stuff lately. And first off, you can't say you're citing sources wrong. No, you either cite a source or you don't give a source.
Well, you said on the show specifically that did you post the thing from the UN referencing specifically the Kalergi plan? Where they reference it specifically?
Dylan did that. Dylan provided.
No, he didn't. No. Dylan posted something about he posted something about abolishing slavery and how like low wages were some like slavery thing, but it was an anti-low wage, anti-slavery paper. I read it. And then he posted some other thing, which is literally like, yeah, we have our economy is like a fucking Ponzi scheme and we need more people. And obviously we're going to get it from the third world.
That's the other thing. You keep doing this. Oh, this is for economic benefit. Making the line go up and GDP, that you can't, there's nothing that can't be traded for society and culture.
I agree that there's a trade-off there. But the thing is you don't want to live in a country that just abandons that wholesale.
You disagree with me. No, you disagree with me by saying that there is a trade. No, I'm saying there is no such trade-off that can be.
Well, I'm just telling you you're wrong.
There is no.
There is some trade-off. I guarantee you, even Dylan, Dylan will routinely be like, yeah, I'm doing pretty well financially. And, I have a house and I have cars. Like,
yeah, what?
He has that under this system.
From the blacks.
Yeah.
He lives away from the blacks. That's quantifiable.
I understand what he's saying, but I'm saying he was able to acquire these resources under this system of number goes up. So for him to, you understand what I'm saying?
What is it? He was able to do that without having to what? Import a whole heap of third worlders?
Well, but he benefited from that system of importing third worlders. He's just now reached a point where he goes, I don't like this anymore, which is fair. I'm not saying that's not fair. I'm just saying in your perfect utopia where we go, yeah, we're getting rid of all these people. We're not bringing in any more people from anywhere. You go, the country that you live in will look different, not just observably, but it'll be a way worse place to live in. Like the quality of life will be lower.
Medieval peasants worked way less than we do. Medieval peasants,
And you would trade your free time for that quality of life? You want to live? You want to have the living standards of a medieval peasant?
Let me finish. They comparatively lived somewhat less violent lives.
Violent?
They also, yeah, during medieval times, you know who fought for peasants? The higher nobility. You know why? Because kings had the concept of maintaining a legacy. They knew that, oh, my name will always be talked about, but I want to make sure that even after my death, the kingdom I preside over is somewhat stable, and people could be like, what makes this place so great? It's like, well, this is one of our previous rulers.
Sure.
No, it's all about that.
But so you long for the life of a medieval peasant?
I'd rather be pure in heart. Like, yeah, I would. A peasant with a pure heart has more worth than some godless heathen who's just counting his coins. Like for real.
All right. I mean, look, it's a free country. You're allowed to think whatever you think. For sure.
I mean,
if you want to live like a medieval peasant, I don't want to live I don't even want to live like a medieval king. That's slumming it for me at this point. We're so far past that.
Maybe it's a little bit, maybe it is a little bit of hyperbole what I'm talking about. But I mean, look, me personally, it's like, I'm not trying to be rich. I'm not trying to be wealthy. All I'm trying to be is stable and secure.
Yeah, that's fair.
But when everyone is this whole, whatever they want to call it, like a rat race. Oh, we need to accumulate, build, and make line go up. And
I mean, I concede that's not the best system, in the sense that they created a system where, shit goes sideways if they don't do this constantly. But that is the system, unfortunately, and there isn't a better one. That's essentially the problem. I mean, I agree. Yeah, it's not ideal. But it is the system, and if we want to throw out the system, you're like, it's gonna be ugly. All right, I gotta let you go. I got all these fucking callers now. Slav, everybody. I'll talk to you.
Lastly,
go ahead.
Just for MLK Day.
Yeah,
Danny. The way we celebrate MLK Day in America is we say the word. So you can say it with me if you want.
I'm good. Slav, everybody. Hey man, MLK Day, if it wasn't for Martin Luther King, we wouldn't have the most dangerous streets in America called Martin Luther King Boulevard. Would we? All right, let's take another call. All right, phone lines are probably. Hello. You're on Low Valley Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hi.
A woman. Hello. I just said that for everybody else.
Hi, I'm Araceli.
Hi, Araceli. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I just wanted to say that guy was super barbaric. The one that wanted to shoot his dog.
I can't. I could never. I mean, I
understand money is tight as a farmer, but you can spare $100.
$100 to if someone goes, here's $100, you don't have to put your dog down at your hand. I go, that is some of the best money I've ever spent in my life. To
and then
let somebody else do it.
Said, what was he saying? He said, those people don't understand the concept and they're not civilized, but he was the most uncivilized person.
Fair. We have a wide range of opinions on this show. Let's just say that.
For wide, but yeah, he was kind of crazy. I hope he doesn't shoot his dog. I hope
he doesn't shoot his dog either.
What's his Venmo?
Yeah, I mean,
I could loan him $100.
Yeah, we could maybe do a GoFundMe for him, because I agree that it is tough being a farmer, but don't shoot your dog in the head of 16 years.
Yeah, they deserve a little better.
Yeah, I mean,
a little better than that.
Yeah, I don't know. People are.
But yeah, I'm ready to pull some money together for him if he needs it.
Okay, we can do that. He can reach out to me if he wants. We'll set up a GoFundMe. I'll happily spearhead that to get him some money to not have. But he might. The problem is he might want to shoot his dog in the head. Like he might have some romanticized concept of like having a dog for, close to 2 decades and then bringing it back to the earth.
If it's going to die, then it'll be by my hands.
Yes, I guess. I don't know. I could never do that. That was a bit much for me, but to each his own, I suppose. What did you want to talk about? Anything specifically, or just you wanted to comment on?
No, that's it.
That's it. Okay. Well, thank you for calling in.
Comment, yep.
Yeah, we'll try and get
MLK Day.
Happy MLK Day. We'll try and get the fundraiser going. Araceli, everybody. All right, let's take another call here. There we go. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I am.
Oh shit, it's Marco. Yeah.
What's up, Marco? How you doing?
Marco with a K. I'm good.
Marco with a K.
First time calling in.
What are you, like a Slavic, like Eastern European?
No. I'm white and black, but my grandma, she didn't know how to spell all that well. So,
okay. She just gave
yeah, it came with a K. Yeah, just a little bit of funk on it.
All right, a little funk on it. So what's up, Marco?
Oh, did you? I mean, yeah, I've been listening to the stream for a minute. You know what I mean? I always like to stay up with you and Ryan and Boys Cast and all that shit. I love that. But did you guys see the? I mean, I'm gonna switch it up. But did you guys see the collab and the Fuentes and the Sneeko collab?
I saw clips of it. I know, for people who don't know, they're like these IRL streamers, and well, not Fuentes, but Sneeko and I guess Clav. But yeah, they went to like some nightclub in Miami, and then they played the Hail Hitler song from Kanye West, and then it was like a whole to do. Like the mayor of Miami had to like put out a statement.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and the club, and they're like, we don't condone this type of, even though it's a Kanye West song, but they're like, we don't condone this type of thing.
I mean,
it's a good song. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't sometimes walk around my house singing that song. I'd be a liar.
So like, what did you think of the whole situation?
I mean, again, these guys are like provocative guys. They're doing, I don't watch IRL streams. IRL streams, in my opinion, you guys might disagree with me, but that shit is the epitome of goy slop. Watching some guy live his life, just being like, I'm going to get a sandwich at a fucking bodega or something. It's not for me. Yeah. Maybe I'm too old. I don't know. Maybe I'm aged out of it. But when people say goy slop, that is maybe the first thing I think of is IRL streams, is watching some guy just walk around. I don't know.
How old are you, Danny?
I'm 42. I am too old to be watching IRL streams. Yeah, it might just be a generational thing. It's certainly possible. Yeah. Sneeko's been on the Boys Cast a couple times.
I kind of fuck with the vibe a little bit. You know what I mean?
You like it?
Like when you're up. Well, when you're just like up in the club, you know what I mean? Like just.
I mean, the thing is, I don't want to be in a club in real life.
It's funny.
Yeah, like I don't want to in real life be at a place like that, let alone watch someone be at a place like that.
Not true. I mean, but it is a vibe though. It is kind of like funny to watch. Like it just because it leads into the whole manosphere. You know what I mean? Like the interviews, the man on the street shit. Like,
sure, like an interview, I don't mind watching, but yeah, just watching people like live. I don't know. Maybe I'm the old guy yelling at the cloud right now. I'm fully cognizant of the fact that that just might be me, but
No, I feel you. Like I just signed up for Kick like not even that long ago, so I just started like kind of paying attention to it. But yeah, I mean, obviously that shit pops up in the.
I mean,
feed,
that clavicular guy. My initial read on him is he is like a psychopath. Like that's how I see it. I go, that guy seems like a psychopath. Like when you listen to him in interviews, like I'll see clips from interviews. I go, like this guy is like a Patrick Bateman. Like seems nuts. He's like, yeah, I do meth for appetite suppression. You're like, you ever heard of fucking Manjaro or something?
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of a troll though too.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it is a troll, but I don't know. There is something about a guy being.
I know what you're saying though.
There's something about a guy who's like fairly good looking and then his whole personality is being obsessed with good looking. I go, that is some of the gayest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like at least, you know, Nick Fuentes is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely been some good conversations because like you're saying, it's just interesting. It's just interesting to watch. Right.
Mm.
Like, I mean, obviously, like you said, some things can lead into a certain direction where you're like, I don't feel that, or you know what I mean? Like, okay, it's like, you know, you like you said, you base your complete thing off of looks, and you know what I mean? It's just like, I get it, but at the same time too, like you said, if it's generational, maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I do like the idea that clavicular is getting young men to bash themselves in the face with hammers to like change their cheekbones.
Yeah,
that's funny, but I don't think it's funny for the right reason.
Don't you feel like on some level that's like it shows that that's the dichotomy of like the society, right? Like we have to take things to such an extreme.
I don't think you have to bash your fucking cheekbones with hammers. I don't think women care that much. Women care about status way more than they care about your fucking cheekbones. Like way, way more. Like I'm sure clavicular gets his girls like similar to Aiden Ross. Or like Steiny from Nelk Boys, who is like, these are not two particularly attractive people, but they just are high status. And I'm sure they do just fine
I mean,
without bashing their faces with
for sure.
hammers.
I mean, like you're saying, like I'm not really like kind of like too interested in like, oh, does he get girls? Does he not? You know what I mean? Like I get that side of things. But what, like, would you ever have him on the Boy Scouts? Like with
clavicular?
You know what I mean? Just like,
yeah, we would talk to, for sure. We would definitely talk to him. I don't know how serious I could take him because he seems so serious, and obviously it's a comedy podcast, and he seems so serious, and that in and of itself is not funny to be like so serious about this. But I would talk to him. I'd talk to anybody, really.
Dude, I think it would go a lot better than you know what I mean. What you might think.
Well, I'll try. I'll talk to Ryan, and I'm sure we know Sneeko, so I'm sure we could potentially make it happen. If the guy's in New York.
Content and all that shit. But,
yeah. All right, I gotta let you go, but I gotta take some other calls.
All right.
Thanks for calling in. Oh, now there's so many calls. All right, we'll keep going. But shout out to all of you who have supported this show today. Dylan says, Danny, I'm only doing well because of a combination of hard work and it being extremely lucky. I miss a lot of opportunities doing business morally. Yes, but it's still the system. You know, there's people who work hard and get lucky in a shitty system, and that looks way differently. Way different. All right. This person's not picking up. Let's try another person here. If you guys both answer at the same time, I'm going to fucking snap. What? Nobody wants to answer their phones right now? Nobody wants to unmute themselves, huh? That's where we're at with this show. All right. Let's try number 3. I have 5 people on hold right now. I have to piss my pants. Here we go. We got one. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, it's Will from Texas again.
Will from Texas. What's up, pal?
Nothing much. I was just thinking, you mentioned conspiracy theories and it's got the wheels all turning, and I'm thinking, and this is a really dumb kind of theory.
Let's hear it. I mean, most conspiracies are dumb, so let's hear it.
All right, what if, right, I think Trump, the administration, and ICE know that they really can't deport as many people as they want, So they leak where ICE is going to be, so crazy leftists can go videotape them and put it all over the internet, so the whole world can see, like, oh, look at all these arrests that are happening. It's like 10.
Honestly, that doesn't even sound that crazy to me. I mean, I think I've said it before, and I do believe this, that a lot of this whole deportation strategy is like a shock and awe thing, where people just see this and it dissuades them from trying to come here illegally. Or, maybe some people will be like, I don't need to get locked in fucking ICE deportation facility in like Louisiana, or potentially get sent to El Salvador, and they just leave. I do believe that for sure, that they're like, they can do way more with like psychologically than they could ever do with physical bodies removing people.
Yeah, I posted. I didn't know if that was, I literally put black pill take. That's something I posted on Facebook because it's very vague on whether or not I support ICE, which I love doing that, being intensely vague.
Yeah, sure.
No,
I think there's definitely
happening.
I definitely do believe. Like I always wonder, because I have theories as well, and I always wonder, like, did they think this through, or is this just nice consequence that they necessarily didn't think through that it's happening? It's hard. That's hard to know, like how well they're able to plan this stuff out. But for sure, they want all this smoke to a degree. They want it all publicized all across the world. Don't come here. This is what's going to happen. They're offering people $1,000, or even, I think maybe they raised it, to leave. Like, they'll give you cash to just get the fuck out of here. So you got to think, you're like, if they're willing to do this and hiring all these new ICE agents, I'm sure they would be very happy to just have people see something on Twitter or Facebook or whatever and be like, I'm not even going to risk it. I don't even want to take the chance.
Yeah, I don't want to bring up the church invasion. I'm pretty sure you talked about it earlier. I kind of tuned in really late.
Yeah.
Wild shit. Don Lemon. I don't know if he's going to get arrested.
I'm telling you, if he gets fucking arrested and has to, for specifically the Ku Klux Klan Act or whatever the fuck it is, that's comedy that I can't even, nobody I know could write something that funny. That's legit next level.
I was reflecting back on MLK Day today and just thinking about how I think Martin Luther King Jr. kind of escaped the Me Too. Every so often people will bring up him having, all his affairs,
orgies,
as a position,
crazy orgies,
in a position of power. You know what I mean? Taking advantage of these women.
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know. I'm sure they wanted it, but I got into arguing with ChatGPT about these things.
Well, I mean, when they had the JFK, I think it was from the JFK file release last year, and all the stuff was in there about MLK doing these crazy sex parties and girls like not really wanting to participate and him forcing them, and like them having to, sodomizing them and all sorts of shit where you go, not a good look, MLK Jr. Not a good look.
Yeah, but he's, I guess, the distraction with ICE and Iran and Greenland, and I can't even keep up with those shit anymore. I'm really...
It's too much going on. I mean, I know that Biden wasn't great either, but the mental bandwidth required of thinking about politics under Biden, there's something to be said about that was better in a way. But the country was worse, but that was better.
I do miss just worrying about the price of eggs.
Yeah.
That just, I miss those days. Like that day.
Dude, some shit, man, not to change, or I guess not changing topics, but I go to there's like little markets everywhere in New York City, and I know they're these glorified convenience stores. So you can't like necessarily take the price like as normal, but like I was in one by my house the other day, and a liter and a half of milk was like this, like, they have those like high protein milk things or whatever, which I buy this. I go to Target by my house. It's like 15 minutes away, but they have this milk. It's called Pioneer Pastures. It's fucking amazing. It's like 14 grams of protein per serving. It's so good. It's like $5.99 for a a liter and a half of milk, which is still pretty expensive. They had the store by my house. It was $12.99 for a container for a liter and a half of milk. I'm like, who the fuck buys this shit? I don't know if just like people have so much money they don't give a shit. But I'm like $12.90. It was the A2 brand. Wasn't even the same brand. I don't even think it was like the high protein milk. It was just this like A2. It's like a different enzyme or something. It's more digestible. Wasn't even the high protein milk. $12.99. I could not believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, that's wild. But I don't skimp on good milk. Actually, I do because I'm trying to save money to buy used. That's a whole other fucking rant. But good milk, like good, like organic, full fat, like high omega-3 milk is fucking delicious.
It's amazing.
Ice cream.
Yeah, I don't like the whole milk.
I don't even really drink milk.
But maybe after, I drink like 2%, but I mostly like it just because it's 14 grams of protein and a glass of it.
Yeah.
But I was just like $12.99. I couldn't believe it. Anyways, I gotta let you go. Will I gotta?
Yeah.
6 other calls.
Yeah,
thanks, man.
You have a good one.
You too. Well, everybody, $12.99 for milk. That is the Jewiest you'll ever see me in my life. My fucking yarmulke like fucking went up in the air, spun around, and came back down. All right. This Devin character does not seem like he wants to answer the phone. Which is fine. Good for you, Devin. Let's go to... Guys, nobody is unmuting themselves right now for some reason. So we will go back to the Goob. Oh, here we go. We got him. Peter!
Yeah, hey.
What's up,
sorry,
It's all good.
Wanted to talk about Greenland.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
I had wanted to talk about Greenland and Canada, but I feel like that topic was an hour
No.
ago.
That's fine. No. There's no rhyme or reason to this show. Let's discuss it. What did you want to do? What did you do? You have, yeah, go ahead.
You posed a question about Trump voters. Are you down with any of this? Short answer is no.
Yeah. This is not what you signed up for.
I only voted for him. Yeah, I only voted for him the last time because I couldn't vote for the Libertarians. But, the whole thing's such a unforced error. I don't know why.
It does seem unnecessary.
Whether
the Greenland thing seems like, and he has such a fervor for it. That's way more than, like the 51st state stuff with Canada where he kind of was saying it, but he'd be like, I'm kind of like joking. And then he kind of just, let it go, especially after the Canadian election. This one, he seems hell bent on this happening. And the rest of the world seems hell bent on this not happening. Again, there could be some. I was just going to say there could be some number where he goes, "All right, we're going to give them $1 million each," but like, are Americans pumped with the way this country's going to be like, yeah, here's fucking $600 billion to buy Greenland? Like, is that something Americans want?
I think that would play more poorly. I know, plenty of liberals. It's easy to figure out their opinion, but at least out of my MAGA friends, this one even caught people off guard. Whatever, last year when he started really.
Yeah, and he did talk about it in like the joking way in his first term. Like, remember he had the Trump Tower meme in Greenland, but like actually doing it is a separate thing. And like going to war with NATO seems
it's
like a lot.
It's very counterproductive.
It would be great if he could just say like, look, we got these plans and Russia plans to do this. But then again, even still, if Russia does this, then you're like, well, you're at war with NATO now. So probably would not work out for Russia.
Yeah. And, if there had been, to a point I think I heard you make earlier, if there was a single like, hey, and okay, I should back up. If the CIA has some intel that the Russians are trying to co-opt the Danish elections, or they're really, they've got some tricky scheme that they're going to try and take Greenland. If there is any evidence of that, you got to just throw it down on the table.
Agreed.
In America, people aren't going to believe it.
Like what happened to manufacturing consent?
Belief.
Like they had no problem doing this for a million other things. Yeah, but it's like it
but
works.
like
At least give us something.
It works for, let's take Venezuela, and even that is really.
They didn't do anything. They just go,
works.
we did it. We're doing it, and we did it.
Yeah, I guess Venezuela's not a good comparison, but it works for moving the Overton window like a little bit. But Greenland was not on any fucking American's radar, is my opinion, except mine.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, I get why America should want Greenland. Like, I mean, sure, every country. Yeah. I mean, it makes more sense, really, for Canada to own Greenland geographically. I mean, if I was Canada, I would fight this fucking tooth and nail. That is the last thing I want as a Canadian is to be Greenland now to be owned by America.
So, from a strategic perspective, for the Canadian patriots in your audience, like, yeah, sure, I agree. But for me, as an American looking at it, like, the problem is we already kind of owned Greenland. And there was no evidence that the Danish ever were interested in upsetting the status quo, which is we basically paid for them to have their name on a thing. Their current king, did his like military service in Greenland. It's like a prestige thing.
Yeah.
Is my impression for the Danes. And Canada, okay, Greenland's close to them, but there's also like economic arguments, besides it opening up a bunch of fisheries close by you, productive fisheries, the mineral argument. Greenland's got, besides the rare earths everybody's making noise about, it's got plenty of titanium, uranium, a lot of the specialized stuff that America still imports just a crap load of. And ironically, a lot of it is coming from Canada, like, for example, uranium.
Yeah, tons.
And I think if you look at people in Trump's administration, the commerce guy, a couple of the people in his administration are doing kind of the same thing Biden's administration did, which is giving like some low key, I wouldn't say encouragement to the nuclear power industry or nuclear fuel industry, but there's this tension now because Canada, I think, is the U.S.'s main supplier for uranium ore. It used to be the Russians.
And potash. Which is
and potash,
which is like crucial for farming.
There's definitely more of an argument, even aside from the defense aspect, to me, for Canada. If you're just a pure, technocrat and you're trying to get synergy between industries, Greenland doesn't have fucking much to offer. It has a defense aspect to offer the U.S., which is real. All of our sonar nets come through there. But again, it's not like Denmark was giving us any.
Like Denmark's not uncooperative in any way on this.
They were complete. Like, to be fair, we were paying them a lot of money for rent on all of those bases, but it was not that much money to America. It kept the Danes sweet. Greenland kept getting subsidized aid basically from Denmark.
Yeah, like they have crazy social welfare, free health care.
There's a lot of American money that already has gone into building most of that. But I don't know. That was my rant about Greenland. Yeah. It also sucks because, dude, before Trump started talking about Greenland, it's a place I always wanted to go. They have a really beautiful hike around the southern tip of Greenland.
Well, you might be able to go there visa-free soon.
Yeah. I don't want to go and like the populace has a lot of opinions about America. And
you will not. You're going to have to pretend to be Canadian.
Yeah,
like it's back to the It's like back to the 90s, early 2000s, where if you travel,
dude.
Yeah, you have to put a
do that.
Yeah, put a Canada little flag on your backpack.
France and Norway. Yeah, no, I definitely told Europeans I was Canadian 20 years ago. It just sucks balls that that's back, dude.
That is back, yeah. That's what everybody used to do. All right, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Take care.
Later. All right, that's been the show. Sorry, Goob. It's 9:45, and I really have to piss really badly. I apologize, Goob. All right, but that's been the show. Thank you very much. 300-1416 with the super chat. He says, I got nothing to write here. Just haven't chipped in a while. Figure $20 total makes up for it. I appreciate it. Helps keep the lights on, if you will. And BioBlade just says nothing. Just dropped a super. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much. I don't know what's going on in my throat tonight. Maybe it's the AIDS. But that's been the show. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me on this episode of Low Value Mail. Good calls. Honestly, good calls tonight. That's if you've ever thought about calling the show, but you're nervous, don't be. I want to hear from you. I like the first call about all the crazy rooming houses or whatever the fuck with the schizos. Like that shit. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Is it Junior or do we just say regular in this country? I'm still learning the lays of the land. Thank you very much again, everybody. Shout out to Gerard, best producer in the game on my Monday night call-in show. I would never slight Johnny Glover, the Southern Lover, that way. Catch me on a new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night, 9 p.m. from the Stand Comedy Club. Green Room, all new lineup, as always, every week. That's it. That's it for me. I'll see you guys next week. Have a lovely MLK day and an MLK week. Good night.
I'm really a poet, you know it, all my shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep, blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurt. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5, got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenally. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, then they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now I'm pulling up fresh on some flight shit.